Everybody in chat, are you guys ready? Yeah, then again, just repeating pretty quick. The interaction is going to be limited, but like most of you guys have been on Twitch for, I'm pretty sure that this is not the first time that most of you guys are watching a collab stream or something like more in this formats with an interview of a podcast. I think most of us, maybe you're not naturally a fan of it, but I'm pretty sure most of us we have been in streams like this and we know how it works. So I think it's going to be fine. The mods are here like to help. The fact that we're focusing on our conversation and focusing on each other the way that it's got to be, because it's just like it would be like extremely rude of me like to be talking to them here and just be like looking at my phone, talking to the chat, just laughing, like, joking around. Uh, that's not like that's not why we got together in here. Like we get to do that every day if you want to in our stream. So it's just a little different. It's gonna be more on a shorter side of a stream, uh, maybe a couple of hours. We're gonna try like, to fit all the content, all the questions, everything that I want to talk with them here on stream. And I know what you guys thinking, or some of you guys. I know what some of you guys are thinking. You guys, oh, we forgot to start. Can anybody start the combined chat, please? I don't think we did it. Once someone does it, it's gonna do it for everyone.
I think it's the host. Or the host is.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Oh, you cannot do it, so just myself.
Just you, yeah.
Let me. Okay. All right, now we are one. It's like it's not the three musketeers. It's a little four today. All for one, one for all. All right, now we're vibing. Now we're officially starting our little collab stream. Podcast may sound like very formal, but like we can use it that word as well. Thank you so much, guys. Uh, Good afternoon, or good evening, or good morning, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for stopping by. I know what some of you guys are thinking right now. You guys are probably like, oh, so from the four people that are there, you guys decided to pick the guy with the worst camera, with the worst microphone, that cannot even speak in English properly sometimes, to be conducting this. Like, what are you guys doing? First of all, I volunteered. Okay, I'm doing the best I can. It's okay. It's not that serious. It's just like it's just a bunch of friends like hanging out together, and all of them are more than capable of like being like leading the conversations, be making the questions, be like hosting anything. If anything, I may actually be the like the least smartest of all of us, that are all the four that are here right now. But make no mistake, the fact that someone says that I'm a little less smart than somebody that has a 200 IQ, it doesn't mean that I'm saying that I'm dumb. Okay, there's a huge difference between the two of them. So uh, any of us could be here hosting right now. This easy peasy. So I volunteered. Maybe in the future, if the feedback is amazing, if all of them are having fun, if they feel like they want to do this again, uh, we can do it like rotating hosts. We can bring like other streamers in. This is like a just a big like test overall. Like we are in a way stepping out of our comfort zone. Uh, it's my first time here. I think it's the first time for everyone. It could be wrong, right? Any of you guys ever done this or no?
No.
No?
No? Yeah.
First time.
So, yeah, it's the first time. So everyone is like a little nervous, but it's going to be fine. Uh, the lineup, why like the four of us? Why this? Like we have you guys, most of us, like the core community here. We know that we have like our group of friends, but also there's a bunch of other streamers, other people that we know on Twitch, other communities that we are active, where not necessarily all of us are part of it. So there's a huge like range of streamers and people that could be here right now. I know that, and maybe in the future, like they will. But basically, what like we're trying to create here is like having people that kind of know and trust each other. So naturally, when I went to send the invites, I was gonna look for the people that I have like some credibility with. It would be like way harder for me. Like imagine like a streamer like like Molly, for example, which is like the most is the streamer among the four of us who has reached the the who has been like the most successful like in streaming. If I were to get like a partner streamer like with the viewership that Molly has, I'll probably if they were super nice, they were gonna just say like, "Oh, thank you so much. Like, I wish you the best, but no, thank you." Or if they are really mean, they would just go like, "Who the heck are you?" They're just like, "Who the heck is this dude?" You know what I mean? So, we're lucky that I'm friends with like some very cool streamers, like these three friends right here. So naturally, I went like to the closest people to me. There was a bunch of other people, for example. But if I were to try like other like streamers, even targeting like for super popular streamer, I would probably gonna need their help, like or their network. If I, for example, I wanted to bring Aloe here, I was probably gonna be like Cervantes is like he's her closest friend, not me. I was gonna be Cervantes. Can you like talk to her? Because I don't think like just me reaching out would be enough, etc. etc. And of course, having a face cam is very important for a podcast. It's not a Spotify. If it was a Spotify or Deezer or any audio platform only, we could like reach out to our other streams. There's a bunch of our friends that could easily be here, but they don't do face cam, so I could not invite them. Maybe in the future if they do it, because back in the day I didn't have like face cam as well, and now I do. And yeah, at the end of the day, as the main uh, thing of this whole talking, we could just gonna be like navigating a little bit throughout our experiences on Twitch, not just as streamers, but a lot as viewers as well. And that's one of the things why I reach out to these three, like Molly, Cervantes, and Luna, because uh, we share this aspect on our Twitch lives. We have been we know what it's like to be an active viewer somewhere in to be a dedicated member of communities. We just some of us already started like straight up like streaming, which I think in the long term it will affect in some ways. It will make like the journey a little different from someone that literally was a viewer for like 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, and all of a sudden decided to stream for the first time. I think there's a little difference in there. But even if you already started your life as a streamer, like Molly did, for example, uh, she's still been like part of like several communities, and I know because I've been there as well. So we all know what it's like to be on the both sides uh, of the journey. Oh no, I think my stream just froze.
Oh no.
No, 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 no. Okay, I'll just make sure that it didn't. Okay, I think we're vibing. So yes, we're gonna start with like the basics here. I'm pretty sure they're all thinking, "Oh, Hops is our friend. I hope he's gonna start this talking with like a simple question to warm up." That's true, but not really, because this first part here is not a question. So officially, this is not gonna be the first question. This is just an introduction, right? We do have a bunch of people that know us already, the core community, the people that hang out in all of the communities. But there's going to be throughout the stream today a bunch of people that like maybe know me but never heard about Cervantes. Maybe they know Luna but not Molly, vice versa. So there is people in the chat right now, 100%, that doesn't know much about some of us. So I feel like starting with a quick introduction, or not necessarily quick. You guys can take your time with that, but telling a little bit of like when you guys started this journey on Twitch, either as a streamer, as a viewer, or as a viewer. Um, what was your mindset back then? And I don't know, maybe do a little parallel like, with like how it is right now. Do you guys think that you guys would still be here? And you guys already can answer one question that will be like why Twitch, or maybe Twitch was not even. I know for Cervantes it wasn't. She's gonna talk about it, but maybe Twitch was not even the first option for you guys. But like, why Twitch? Why you didn't choose to become an YouTuber, or why you're not streaming like on TikTok, or there's a bunch of platform. Mixer died already, but back then Mixer was still alive on most of us. He started like, why didn't why were not you were not like a Mixer streamer at first. And yeah, I'm gonna start with myself like pretty quick. Yes, hi guys, it's me, Operations. For those of you guys that never heard or never seen me before, I'm Brazilian. I started this in sorry, I forgot to mute something here. Okay, we're vibing. I started streaming almost like by accident 4 years ago. It's kind of crazy. I think my anniversary is actually coming like pretty soon. Uh, I think this is the most common thing that you guys hear on Twitch nowadays. Every time that this subject is brought up, it's like, oh, where did you start? Like, I think like 90% of the panels that you go, the channels that you click, there's going to be something saying like, yeah, I started in the pandemic because everybody was like locked in at home, nothing to do, and I just thought, why not, right? And I think that's what was my case as well. I didn't have a game PC. I didn't have nothing, but I heard one of the streamers that I used to watch the most saying that she started the streaming straight from the Xbox, and I was like, "What, from the Xbox? Really?" I had this weird idea in my head that since the uh, Microsoft was partnered with Mixer, that Xbox would wouldn't be allowed to have like the Twitch app, but of course it did. So I gave it a go, and for you guys that didn't know, streaming from console is like one of the easiest, you know what I mean, one of the most like convenient things that you can do. Like literally the console, the app in the console is going to do everything for you. Test your connection, put you on the right category. You can like choose the title of your game. And one day I was like, dude, I'm playing this freaking Warzone game like every day here in my Xbox. I just like press go live, and to my huge surprise, a couple of people showed up. Bumpy, I think. There are some people that followed me. This is pretty common, right? Maybe it happened with some of you guys in the chat. You guys never said that you guys never streamed, never said that you're going to stream, but some people sometimes get to know you and they click on your name and they're like, follow. And that's what happened. Like I had like 5 people that had followed me, some friends that I play games with, and they showed up when I started streaming. And yeah, every now and then I was like, okay, I'm playing Call of Duty, and went live, and 1 people, 2 people, 3 people, and all of a sudden after 6 months, I was like, you know what? I'm actually gonna like create a schedule, and I'm gonna like be hanging out here, and here I am now. 4 years later, I still like doing this, not as a job, pretty much a hobby still for me, and yeah, I guess that can summarize that. We're gonna start. Another thing that I forgot to say. Uh, every time that I ask them a question today, guys, like it's not always going to be the same order. I'm going to try to get them by surprise sometimes. Like so, now I'm going to start uh, with this question, saying, oh, "Okay, we're going to start like Luna, going to answer first, Molly second, and Cervantes third." And in the next question, I'm going to be like rotating the order. So you know what I mean? Keep the attention spam in check, keep their minds sharp. So that's how we're going to roll like for the most of the stream today. And yes, Luna go first when she ends. And every time that we are talking about any of the questions, any of the topics that we are addressing right now, when the last person, in this case, for example, Cervantes, is going to be the third. If he after he says everything that he wants to say, if Molly or Luna gets reminded of something that they want to add or they want to say or compliment or ask back, feel free to do it. It doesn't mean that the third person, after they are finished with the answer, that we're gonna immediately jump up to the next. If you guys feel that you guys want to go back and add anything to what was said before, feel free to do it. That's how we're gonna roll today. And okay, Luna, you have the word.
Hi
Tell us a little bit
guys.
about your
Oh,
story.
I'm Luna Bella. I too am also Brazilian, but I was born here in America. My parents are from Brazil. Um, I started off as a viewer on Mixer because I was on Xbox. My friend suggested that I should start streaming because I don't know why. I never got a reason. Uh, but then I did. I tried streaming on Mixer first, and it worked out pretty well for me, even though I didn't know what I was doing. I think I used to stream a lot of Fortnite back then. And then Mixer shut down, so I switched over to Twitch because that was the next platform that I knew of that allowed streaming from Xbox afterwards. So, yeah, I stream a lot of games. Really, I don't really do a lot of chatting, so I apologize if I stutter quite often. Not much of a talker, but yeah.
I don't know. I
Um,
think you're pretty articulate.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Did you
Thank you.
say how long was that ago? Was that, Luna? It's like 5 years, 6 years. How long you've been around?
I think I've been on Twitch for 4 years. Mixer, I think I was on there for like 2 years prior to that, so like 6 years total streaming.
Ooh,
Yeah.
is it my turn?
yeah.
Okay. Um, well, I started streaming um in the middle of COVID because school was out and then we stopped going to work. So I was at home and I had a friend from high school that told me about Twitch. So I started streaming on my old laptop and then it went well. And then I had fun the first time that I streamed and I didn't become a viewer until later. But because it was fun, then when I wouldn't stream, I started going into other people's streams. And I still do that like 5 years later. Your turn, Cervantes.
Oh, okay.
Bravo, Molly.
Thank you.
Well, I'll keep mine short and sweet. I didn't have a concept of what a live stream was until 2019, and I joined the Periscope app. Uh, and even then, I didn't have a concept of what was a community live stream until I followed one streamer who was not like full of drama, who was not advertising certain accounts with exclusive content or anything like that, and introduced me to an actual community of streamers and viewers, and I just like ate it all up. I didn't learn anything about Twitch until 2020, specifically August of 2020, when a streamer I followed was chased off of Periscope by a troll and went to Twitch, and that's when I started like being a viewer on Twitch. And then in 4 months, that's when I learned things about subs and bits and all of that. And I started streaming on Twitch literally October of 2020, and since then, I've been growing my community and still am an avid viewer and interactor in people's chats as much as I possibly can um, throughout the past 5 years. I know my account's 10 years old, but I've only been on Twitch since 2020. Ops, you're
You
muted.
muted Ox.
The package streamer already striking. Yeah, I knew about Periscope a bunch of stuff, but I don't think I probably knew that as well. But I kind of forgot, Francis, that you like on Twitch, you have not been around like for that long. Yes, myself, I started watching Twitch in like 10 years ago, so I have a long like run as a viewer, and yeah, it was kind of a. I'm still struggling with that a lot. We're gonna tackle this a little more later on in our conversation, but I still struggle a lot in like freeing myself of this whole almost like mindset of like being just a viewer because I think that that's holding me back in certain aspects like of streaming. Uh, and but also like everything, there's like some pros and cons to to our decisions, to the way that we approach certain things. And yeah, we're gonna dive deep into some of this throughout our conversations. All right, I know you're expecting, okay, he's my friend, I hope he goes easy, but no, I'm gonna start with like a very I don't know, maybe you guys think different than me. It sounds like a simple question, but like the more I stay on Twitch or the more active, the more I get to talk to people in different places, more complicated sometimes the answer to that simple question in theory it is to me. And now it's up to you guys. I was guessing you up how smart, how articulate you guys are. So you guys find a way to try to explain it the best way you can. But the first question that I want to ask to you guys, like, how would you guys define these relationships that we have here on Twitch? How, um, like, what is this universe? What is this like that is so appealing to of course, most of us that are here right now, we spend a lot of time on Twitch, either like streaming or either like chatting or supporting other people. Like, what is it about this whole world where I don't know? It's this strange and sometimes like paradox world where like you know people, but you really don't know people. Um, you know what I mean? When you like you know what's going on, but sometimes you really don't. Like like what is going on here? What is this like? Some people define this as like parasocial, you know, relationships. Is this like real relationships, like online relationships? There was a bunch of labels and definitions, and I'm not gonna lie. Even after 10 years being around on Twitch, if somebody asks me this, like out of the blue, uh, if I have time, like to think about it, like right now, if I'm kind of prepared for it, it's going to be one thing. But it's someone just hits me with this question out of nothing. Sometimes I still struggle, like to elaborate, you know, a concise like answer to this because to be honest, like I don't I'm not sure if I really get it. Even after being around for like almost 10 years, like what the hell do we have here? Are we like friends? The viewers are our friends, our customers, our fans? Like, how do you? Before I pass the question on to you guys, something that I think it's really important, like to understand it, to put in context here for you guys in chat, like the fact that most of us here we have experienced that both sides, being a viewer and being a dedicated viewer and being a streamer, which not everybody has experienced that. That adds a lot of layers. Sometimes you guys gotta like understand if we're talking, and we're gonna try to make it clear as possible to you guys, so you guys can understand if we were talking more on the point of view as a viewer, on the point of view as a streamer, and keep in mind that it's pretty much impossible, at least in my opinion, uh, for people to have a universal answer to some certain kind of things, because I think literally it's impossible for somebody like me, like in a like small streamer in a small community that does this for a hobby, to have the same answer and the same approach to streaming as a partner streamer that has thousands of viewers that does this as a job that depends on the money from Twitch to pay their bills, to pay their electric bill, to pay their rent. I feel like it's pretty much impossible. So there's a bunch of layers. There's a bunch of like variants here. Uh, Background: where do you live? How old are you? How long you've been on Twitch? I know that sounds like that maybe make it sounds like it's an I'm overcomplicating things, but no, I think it's very important like to give like context. For example, if somebody approaches me, a friend here or a viewer, and wants to talk to me for advice or for something about something that happened on stream, uh, even those kind of responses, they're gonna be different, because if somebody reaches out to me and asking stuff about Twitch, and they say to me, "Oh, I'm 18 years old and I have been on Twitch for 6 months," the response, the words, the approach, the way that I'm going to communicate with that person is totally different than probably what I would say if the person says to me, "No, I'm 35 years old, I'm a father of like two kids, and I've been on Twitch for like 10." It's gonna be completely different to me. So I like the context, like who we're talking to, like what they want, like what's going on. It's very important, in my opinion. I like to take that all that under consideration when I can. Of course, sometimes we're in a hurry, the rush of like our daily lives. We have our works, we have our family. There's a bunch of stuff going on, and sometimes we cannot give like the proper attention that we wanted to everyone. Sometimes it's not possible. We want to, but it's not possible. But yeah, now I'm gonna invert the order. It's gonna be Cervantes gonna start it first. Molly gonna stay second actually, and Luna is gonna be the third. What incarnation is this freaking relationship that we have on Twitch? Like, how would you guys describe?
All right,
You
well,
can start it, Cervantes. Yes.
that's a bit of a loaded question, but I'll do my best to be concise. Um, Twitch is about building relationships and socializing with people, but however, there are varying views on that between streamer and viewer. I am obviously a community builder. I think I've accomplished, building a community of people that likes each other and likes me, and we all get to hang out and play video games together and stuff like that. And but in terms of the relationship between viewer and streamer, it depends on the particular viewer and the streamer versus like viewers in general. And I know that people have different opinions on that, but for me, it's about growing a relationship between me and each person. For instance, customs and chat. Could chat for hours about Star Wars, and suddenly we're hanging out more often. He's playing more games. We would chat offline. That leads to exchanging phone numbers, knowing our real names, things like that. And then suddenly, it's not just viewer and streamer; it's friends. you know and that's how friends develop, and that's how it develops in real life too. Drawing parallel, going to a party and just chit-chatting with some random person, suddenly you exchange numbers and Instagrams and Snapchats and start iMessaging and hanging out more often, and suddenly you become friends versus just someone you met at a party or at a bar or whatever. It's the same thing with romantic relationships, but we're not going to go into that, or I won't anyway. um, and that's kind of how I feel about the streamer viewer relationship. But it's also different with other viewers who is just content with being in chat and just wanting to chat and hang out with other chat because they have either nothing else to do, and something about me as a streamer has clicked with them that makes them want to stay. A lot of it is relatability. I feel as though, like, I talk about my life and my point of view on things, and people share that point of view, and that can be attractive. When you relate and become interesting. Because I know I've heard before, like when you want to stream, each streamer has to have that certain thing that makes them stand out to make them a success, and that's kind of true. But there's also varying degrees of success. Like for me, I don't depend on streaming um, for financial gain, for to earn my living. For me, streaming is mainly a hobby and a way to socialize. Another way to put it is it's a social club. So, and I have succeeded in what I've accomplished. I know I'm not going to become the next, W streamer that's going to like buy multiple houses in multiple states, and you know what I mean. Just have hundreds of thousands of subs and tens of thousands of viewers. I get that backwards, but you know what I mean. And I know I'm never going to be that, only because that's never been my goal. I'm not trying to elicit like monetary value from people who choose to watch me. I am not an entertainer per se. I am just another friend that you can come and see and hang out with. Um, Obviously, that's Twitch can be used for more than just that, but that's how I use Twitch for and how I relate to viewers. Sometimes I make friends, and sometimes I just chill with someone in chat and just stick with the small stuff or chit chat. I guess the best way to put it. I'll turn it over to
How
Molly.
about you? What about you, Miss Claire? What the heck is our this freaking relationships that we have on Twitch?
I think that Twitch is a very unique social media because of how you get to directly interact with the people on the screen. And, like we sit there and talk for like so many hours every single week. And I think that it makes sense that a result of that, you're going to have a lot of friends. And so I do consider most people on Twitch to be my friends. I know there's some outliers, there's some crazy people, but I really feel like when I go and hang out on Twitch, I just go and hang out with my online friends. And I think that's why it's so enjoyable for over the course of many years and even just many hours within the day. It can be draining sometimes, but time flies when you're having fun with your friends, I guess. So I think, yeah, I think about them a lot. Like, especially because I know so many people personally or little things about them. So I feel like I do have like a special little friendship with everyone, even though I don't know them that well. Not everyone, at least. But yeah, like I think of them even when I'm not streaming. If I go somewhere, I'll be like, oh, if I pass like a steakhouse, I'm like, oh, Ops likes the Brazilian steakhouses, or something about a doctor reminds me of Luna, and I know Cervantes loves cod, and he likes his crocheted elephant back there,
Mhm.
and all kinds of little things. So I feel like Twitch is so special because I've grown to know so many things about so many different people, and I do consider most of them my friends, minus the crazies.
What about you, Lena?
I think it comes in layers. So like obviously not at first everyone is not your friend. I think the more you know about people, like you get to know them more, like Molly said, like you've learned that Ops likes steak, so you associate the steakhouses to him. Uh it kind of comes in that way. You know, the more you learn about a person, the more like you think about their well-being and if they're okay, and you take it on a personal level, so then it becomes that friendship level. But there are some people who still just remain as a viewer. They don't come in, they just stay there and they'll drop a sub, maybe 100 subs, who knows, and that's it. And it's just like a hi and bye. I don't think that's a friend type of style, but I mean, hey, everyone has their own way of showing like support and love, you know. Yeah, I think it kind of comes with over time, the more that they interact with you, and it's all about like a sense of belonging. Like they're not just there just to watch you game. I mean, maybe they are, but or for Molly's instance, they're there to chat. Uh they're there because it's where you guys all relate together on something somehow, and it's that sense of community, and that's why it's like very important that uh everybody kind of like forms their like little area where everybody feels safe and comfortable and they're together, you know? So, yeah.
Nice. I want to share with you guys like a little take that I have on this. Like I want to hear what you guys think about it, because now we just like tackled a bunch of the positive sides. Oh, it's our friends. We kind of like express what we like, what we want, how nice it is. And I agree. To me, if it was like to summarize, and I know that can change a lot from like place to place, from people to people. But if I had like to literally in a few words summarize the reasons why somebody stays and why somebody goes from a channel, uh, I think I would say that the reason why they stay is because they felt acknowledged. There was some kind of bond established there, even if it's like a little fantasy in their head, but like something was sparkled there. The sense of acknowledgement, a sense of belonging, and what make people like usually leave is when they feel invisible. It's like it is IRL. Dude, I'm in a place where I feel, and sometimes that feeling can be wrong. Sometimes it does not correspond to the reality. Sometimes it's the viewer overthinking. Oh my god, like the person didn't read my the streamer didn't read my comment. uh the sometimes somebody arrives in a community already with how do you guys call, like, an underdog syndrome, I think. Already like arrive in a community. Okay, I see when operations wrote, Cervantes responded and smiling, but when I wrote, he responded but he didn't smile. And you already like, overthinking, like, oh my god, I don't think these streamers like me, I don't think the community likes me. And sometimes, yeah, sometimes it's a person that is causing trouble, and maybe we don't like them. Uh, but sometimes it is somebody that's just overthinking. Just arrived as a huge like background of traumas, like the underdog syndrome or whatever. And to me, I think like when it comes like to the problems, the when some of these relationships that we, even us, describe as like friends, people that we care about, that we know something about it, when some of those relationships, when they get broken, to me, one huge factor in common when these things happen, when people like part ways, is like it feels like a misinterpretation, or like the wrong idea. It's like the streamer and the viewer, they were not on the same page when it comes to this little concept that I was just describing. Like, am I friend, am I your friend, am I your fan, am I your customer? Sometimes like in in your head, I'm your friend, in your head you're my friend, but like our concepts of friendships, and what friends should do for each other can be like completely different. And I think like that baggage that we bring here, either from like other relationships that we have in other communities or from our real life, it ends up creating expectations uh, that do not match reality. For example, to me, uh, to give like a more objective example, usually when I describe like the friendships or some of the relationship that I have on Twitch, I like to put like some I don't only use the word friend. Oh, she's my friend. I usually gonna put something behind it. I'm gonna say, oh, this is like my COD friend. This is yeah, this is good. This is a streamer friend. This is a mod friend. And I know that sounds too much, but that was like a way that I tried just as an attempt. Maybe there were, and a lot of times the results were not what I was expecting. But like this is a very indirect and like simple way of sometimes trying to bring awareness to something. Because I feel like there is a lot of wrong assumptions and perceptions in all the communities that we are part of. And I know that in theory, in a perfect world, a friend is a friend, right? There will need no reason for me to be like separating in, okay, a Twitch friend, my IRL friend, my brother in arms, the ride and die, like for my family, whatever. But I feel like on Twitch sometimes I like to say it because I don't know, I'm under the impression that either the person that I'm interacting uh, probably thinks of the relationship that we have like very different from what I do, or sometimes the community also is like getting a completely wrong perception of like what is going on there. How would you guys feel about that? Do you guys feel like that this is necessary? Not really. Am I overcomplicating things? Do you guys feel like it's necessary sometimes to make it clear for people to understand that like a gaming buddy is not the same as like a friend, a hardcore friend, the one that I can count for anything. How do you guys feel about this? About the way that I see um, this whole like the differentiation between all the kinds of like relationships that we have in here. Do you guys think this is a bit too much, or maybe this is necessary, really necessary sometimes? We can start with Molly now. Molly, Luna, and Cervantes in order.
I think it's good to have a distinction of like what kind of friend, because like a gaming friend you might not be as close to as like a Discord friend that you talk to regularly. And while it's really nice to, in a sense, be friends with everyone, it's kind of broad because you can be friends with someone that, or really like someone that you don't know that well, and then there's other people that you're really close to, and they're, you know, a very special friend that you've known for years. So I think it is probably a good thing in some sense. I kind of do that too. I'll say like, oh, it's an online friend, in the sense that like, no, I've never met them, or maybe I don't know them as much as or as well as I would know someone in person. But but yeah, I think it can be good to distinguish like what kind of friend and what your commonality are with them.
What about you, Luna?
Uh, I do the same. I clarify. I make sure people know that it's a person I know in real life versus someone that's gaming. Granted, they can kind of still be on the same level depending on who they are for me. But a gaming friend will know more about like my sense of game style per se, whereas a real life friend knows me personally, what I may want to eat in real life or something. So I think it kind of can be on the same level, but like with different backgrounds, if that makes sense. But I do the same. I clarify if it's an online friend, if it's a IRL, like, and yeah, I agree. I'll do the same thing.
What about you, Cervantes?
I don't really have anything to add on top of what Molly and Lunabella just said, but it is very easy to confuse that line, and it is pretty subjective as well, from person to person. It is so easy for one person to think that they're friends with the streamer as a viewer, while the streamer looks at the viewer as more of a fan, someone that just likes to hang out. And especially for not everyone that's like this, obviously, but there are the streamers who stream for a living have to cultivate that relationship with the viewer to make sure that the viewer keeps coming back and keeps donating bits and subs and cash channels and all that. So they might like respond to a DM, or they might have a private chat or things like that, but that can very easily confuse the person that is a fan with friendship, or sadly to say even more than friendship, where people would very easily fall in love with the streamer. And it's been typically female streamer, male viewer, but it's been vice versa before too, I'm sure. Um, so communication is typically the best way to draw the line, but sometimes that can come off as harsh. It could also, you know what I mean? So it can also come off as very rigid, uh, like whipping the lash, or it could even be turn offish. So I can understand that it's hard sometimes to make straight what exactly is our relationship with each other. But I do respect people that do that, you know, and can't always be afraid to lose that viewer, lose that support, because it's like, I'm not interested in being with you, but thank you for gifting subs, type of thing. Um, you can't be afraid to lose that person. Yeah, I know some people are. I have to run to the restroom. I'm sorry. I'll be back.
All right, take your time. Well, while Evans gets back, um, let me jump to another question, and I also have like a little story to tell. So there was this kid from a community that a channel that doesn't exist anymore, uh, and I was never really close to him, but I end up like never forgetting because it's a very unique case of a small streamer. That I think that's how it goes. Like for most of us, right? We have been around for a while, and all of a sudden you decide to become active in a community, and then you start making friends. And sometimes like there is a raid, and you get to know another streamer, and sometimes there's another raid, and you get to know someone else, and all of a sudden the circle of friends keeps growing, 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 and the expectations, like I said, and our goals as streamers can be like completely different. From person to person. And there was like this kid that he used to say that he like his dream. How old was he? I think 20, 24. I don't remember, but his dream was to be like a content creator. Like I want this. I wanna like this is like my dream in life. I know to a bunch of people like that's almost like sounds like nonsense. And we're gonna talk about this in the next question after this one. And so I ended up like in his channel because of a raid, and the good old like, oh, he's like getting close to becoming affiliate, like drop a follow, let's help him out. And I was like to do that, and they ended up doing, but he was still kind of far from getting there. And in this case, like this guy specifically, like he was playing Call of Duty, and he was pretty good at the game, nothing like extraordinary, but he was pretty decent. But this kid, he ended up staying or trying to stream for like I don't know 7 months, 8 months. And from the first month where I ended up in his channel until the last one, every time that I arrived there, he had like 0 viewers. And I was like, it was hard for me to not to think like, thanks, would I endure like that much, like going, because like we know that when we start, whatever platform we choose, we know that it's not going to be like 2,000 people jumping right away, right? It's going to be like a slow build. We know that. And some of us actually, even like bigger streamers, even Molly, she's gonna probably tackle this later. That are like, okay, I have reached a certain size for my channel, for my community, and I'm not sure, to be honest, if I want to like, you know, become one of these streamers that's gonna have like 50,000 viewers, and kind of lose like the closeness that I have with some people, like being unable to never read my chat and actually follow a conversation again. I have heard several streamers saying that. And for others, like no, their dream is like, dude, if I wanna, if it's, I can have like 50K viewers, I want it. If I can have 80, like I don't have interaction, as long as the money keeps like pinging in my bank account, I can get the interactions like somewhere else, whatever. And I was like, dang, like staying like 6, 7 months with like 0 viewers. Uh, I even I even like told him like in a jokeful way. Of course, in my mind, I was like, bro, like, do you not even like put your like turn your phone on to have your own stream up to have one view? Because everybody does that. I have even a friend, an IRL friend here that tried to stream on Twitch, and to get his like average numbers up, he had his phone, the TV, and his wife's phone, like was the stream on at the same time, so to have three viewers. It was like pretty clever. But most of the people, at least when you start, you get your own stream up, because in the algorithm, like having one or two viewers puts you like above everybody that has like less viewers than you. And I was like, dang, this kid's like streaming like to zero viewers, like not even himself like puts his stream up, and he like keeps going, going, going. Like, would I be able like to like to do this to stay for this long with ever like ever a viewer? How like I don't know how easy it is like to get discouraged, right? Sometimes even if we have viewers, the chat gets quiet and stuff, and we already like, oh, am I saying something wrong? Am I doing all right? Like, did they say something wrong? We start overthinking why people are coming in and going. So little examples like this. A guy like this story. There's like other stories as well. People that I've seen that literally tried grinded. Like there was one that grinded. I met him through a friend. I was never close to him as well. He was like an older guy as well. Dude grinded like for 7 years and didn't get like affiliate on Twitch. I was like, wow, would I uh, persist for that long? So little stories like this, when you guys see your own like trajectory, like how long it took like to accomplish some certain goals. When you guys see those stories, and then again, most of us, even Molly, which is like the most successful of us here, like by far, but she doesn't do like she still sees this or treats this more as a hobby than as a profession. Uh, when you guys see those cases of people that want this for more than anything and never gonna get it or not even close to even get like a couple of viewers, but like they tried and tried and tried. Do you guys think those kind of things inspiring or depressing when you guys stumble in a case like this? Okay, I'm gonna learn a lesson from it. Do you guys get sad or kind of like proud of like or admire like the person that is going through something like this? I'm gonna start this with one with Luna, then Cervantes, then Molly third.
Um, I think it depends on the context and their background of whether they want to gain just for like the money or they're just enjoying their time. So if they're just enjoying their time and they're having fun, you might as well just stream, you know? Like that's just what streaming is all about. It's just sharing your experiences while it's happening in real life, in real time. And that's inspiring. Whereas the other way is just some people just focus on the money. All they care about is how many viewers they have at the moment and they have the viewer count up and whatever. In the beginning I turned that off. Like I never know how many viewers I have in a chat. If the chat goes quiet, it goes quiet, but I'm still playing my game, so I'm still streaming. And that's just how it's always been for me. And yeah, I think it just can depend on whether or not how they take into account their actions that can result whether it's inspiring or not for them or for me. So yeah.
Yeah, Cervantes. Oh, he's trying to fix the
Yeah,
camera.
if you mind passing on, I'll come back to me.
That's okay. Molly, you want to answer while he fixes his
Okay.
camera?
Um, I'm also like Luna. I turn the numbers off. I find it to be really stressful, and because like people come and then you're like, oh my gosh, there's new people. That's kind of scary. And then they leave, and you're like, wait, did I say something? And I don't think it's ever that personal, but um, I don't know. It's hard not to take silly things personal sometimes. So I turn it off, and I think uh, I get that some people do want to grow and the numbers are important to them, but I like I would think that the people that I really like on Twitch, I think one of the things that we all have in common is that we kind of live in the moment, in that sense of like talking to everybody and being appreciative for everyone and not always like reaching for more, like we're happy with our little friend group and our little community that we've built together and playing games or whatever it is. And I think that's really special. I think that's more important like than the numbers will ever be because they're just numbers. And I know that some people it's just their dream to like get big on Twitch and what a cool job it would be. But I don't know. I think I don't know. I have an appreciation for the people who don't let the numbers get to their head and they're just appreciative of how far they've come. Because like you said, if you have like three people, you're doing better than most. And even some people who play games and only have two people in their chat, I still think it's really sweet that you have your two friends hanging out with you while you're talking or playing games. Um, so yeah, I don't know. The numbers, I personally don't think much about it, and I it also gets to a point where one, it can be so consuming that it can like dictate everything a streamer does because they always care about the numbers. Or if you do become so successful, I think the whole dynamic of Twitch changes. You know, like if you go into the big streamers, everyone just types in emojis and emotes, and you don't really know anyone there. Um, but I think with our little communities, it's very personal.
How about you, Cervantes?
I always left the numbers on. It usually just determines how many people are hanging in chat with me. So it's not really a gauge I use to measure success of a stream, though. I just I like to know how many people are around and say, oh yeah, there's a few of you here. Hey everybody, things like that. So, uh, but I don't actually let it impact or drive my content. Uh, when I say content, of course, like what do I do or what do I talk about or do I even say anything at all? I don't actually let any of that drive that as long as someone's in chat chatting back. Um, uh, Vibing just fine, even if it's just one person. Totally fine with that. You know, so sorry, I don't have a whole lot to add to that on top of what Luna, Ella, and always said. So
Okay, that leads us to the next question. But I just wanna before that, I just wanna say that yeah, I also I don't know. I feel like to me, the way that we see things, the whole don't know the whole like cup half full or half like empty, right? I feel like the comparison, and that goes to IRL as well. The moment that we start, and it's very important to have goals, like to work towards what we want, make things happen, and not just wait for just you know things fall out of the sky on our laps. I think that's very important. But at the same time, I think it's very important, like to be appreciative because it doesn't sound much, but when you stop to think that right now maybe there's like 1 million streamers right now, and some of the best streamers in the world maybe are online right now, and a bunch of other stuff, like events, sports events, movies, like people could be like doing anywhere, and they decided to be hanging out with you, spending even if it's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know. To me personally, I've always like, I don't know, almost like poetic in a sense. You know what I mean? Like yeah, I think like this is the not the best, not necessarily the best or the right, or maybe it's the best, but not necessarily the right. Because I think this whole concepts of right and wrong, they they can get a little blurry sometimes. But I think it's a good mindset to have, like to be appreciative, because yes, if you are comparing yourself to someone else like all the time, it's going to be very complicated for you to actually be in peace and be content with what you have, because dude, no matter how successful you are, how pretty you are, how rich you are, there is always going to be someone else in the world that uh, it has more than you have. And if that's all you can do, like all the times, like looking up to those people and comparing yourself to them, like I just feel like every time that you look in the mirror, you're gonna be feeling like that you're not enough. So I'm with you guys on that. I would never recommend in doing that. And the next question, sometimes it can be a very controversial one, and I'm gonna start this one kind of answering myself, giving my testimonial, so guys can see how things can change in a short period of time. People can change, opinions can change. The question is content creation, is being a streamer, is creating content on YouTube, is it a real job in your guys' opinion? And let me start like telling like a little story about me. If that question was asked to me If we could go back in time at a time machine. Somebody in 2013, I don't know, asked me this, or let's do it even better. Let's create a fictional scenario here. Let's say that about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I was already a father, and my kid, Operation Junior, approached me, all happy, coming back from school. Hey, Daddy, I figured out like we had one of those calling tests. I figured out what we're gonna do in life when I grow up. I was like, yes, up, Junior. Tell me what you're gonna do. What we want to be when I go. And he said, I want to be a YouTuber. Probably, what would have happened? It was gonna be like, okay, like CD your mini BBL like down right there. Give me your phone. You were like grounded for at first like a month. Like, tell me again what you want to be when you grow up. A YouTuber. Like, it was gonna be like a huge disappointment to me. Most likely, I was gonna be what? What did you even heard that? Like, you wanna? No, 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 no. Like, no descendant of mine is gonna be like a freaking lazy bum mess. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a real job. Like, get it together. Okay, what are you like? Who's putting those things in your head? Is that little like Pepega kid, that little Brian, that friend of yours? Yeah, the kid's not setting foot in our house for the next like 3 months. And if he insisted with that like nonsense, it was gonna be okay. No TV, no video games for you until like terrorize him enough to say, "No, Daddy, I was kidding. I'm gonna be a firefighter." And I was like, "Okay, then you have all your stuff back." I was gonna be like so against it, and that kind of response, like to make it clear, in my I don't think it actually means or is a reflection of like bad blood or bad character, or like, oh, you gave this response, like you must be a terrible person. Nah, not necessarily. I'm probably gonna care, most of us, for our kids, for our friends a lot. I feel like strong responses like that, they're usually combinations of I don't know, fear, because back in the day we didn't have like all the information that we had right now, or we have right now, right? When we deal with something with things that we're not familiar with, that we don't have like that much knowledge, it's a combination of fear, ignorance, sometimes stubbornness. There's a bunch of things, maybe a bad week. When all of that coincides, like it just like blends in and becomes this bomb. And some like those reactions, those strong words, like bashing people down or bashing certain jobs or certain careers down. I think sometimes it can be a combination of a bunch of stuff. It's not necessarily right away like reflects bad character or bad blood. But yeah, that would have been my response probably like 10 years ago. And now 10 years later, here I am, freaking streaming on Twitch, just saying like telling the stories of like my friends, or like telling them how much I like them, creating communities, whatever. The same person that 10 years ago would be putting up a show and going on a rampage on like being really mean to like my son because he wanted to be a YouTuber. And 10 years later, I don't have a YouTube channel, but maybe I would like I will make one. And like things change, my mindset change. Now, uh, I'm not gonna say that like if Operations Junior were like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber, that I'm gonna be like jumping of happiness. But very likely I would be like very way more understanding. Okay, like let's talk, like why, like where you go, what you want, like what inspired you to do this. And depending on like how the conversation went, I'm gonna be like, okay, like if that's what you're gonna do, let's see, like, do you have a camera? Do you have the proper PC to do it? How are we gonna do it? Maybe it's not gonna be love the idea, but to me now, seeing how the world works right now, I feel like it would be, I don't know, almost ignorant of my part, like to just say, oh, this is not gonna work, or no, this is like only like lazy ass bums would like go for careers like this. You cannot, like, this is not a career. You cannot make money out of this because it's obvious that it can. Some streamers nowadays even become, I know it's like 0.001% of like the streamers maybe, but there are streamers that have become celebrities. They are hanging out with celebrities. They're making the same amount of money or more money than some celebrities. I know it's unfair. I even have a conversation with my father about this. I know it's unfair, like in a way, like, oh, is it fair for a freaking 15-year-old kid streaming on Twitch playing Valorant all day to make freaking $30,000 per month? and a doctor like maybe make a third of this. Like, is it fair? Probably not. Probably not. But it is the reality. Like I feel like the conversation now it kind of shifts. It's not much of about like is it fair or or not. I think like some things sometimes the world change and some things come and become a part of our daily lives and there's no going back from it. You might hate it. You may have like all the thoughts that you want, but you're either gonna like join the convo or just watch from a distance, right? And my mindset changed. Like I said, if a son or a daughter of mine said that they want to be a YouTuber, maybe it's not going to be like the most the happiest news that I'm going to get, but the way that I'm going to react to it right now is completely different 2 years ago. So I told all that little story, this fictional thing, just like to you know give some context. And my answer back then was going to be no. 10 years ago, no, it's not. It was gonna be a whole like load of like prejudices and you know misconceptions, and I was gonna judge so hard anybody that said to me that they wanted to become a content creator. But now I think it can be I think it should be considered a career, and I think it can be a career. What about you guys? Is it a content creator an actual job, quote unquote, on that actual job? We can start with Cervantes, Molly, and then Luna.
Okay. Well, first off, I have a very optimistic view of the internet. I know a lot of people do not. A lot of people think of the internet as a way of just looking up things and consuming porn. But to me, the internet is actually a great way to bring people together, especially when people who have similar interests or find build relationships with other people are not exactly close to each other geographically. So I do have IRL friends, not as many as I think I've made on Twitch. So I guess the point I was saying is I do consume a lot of content because I started off as a viewer. I do watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I don't mean only to look up how to fix a leaking sink or what's the best way to set up the virtual camera on OBS or things like that. I actually like consume people who like put out content and are pretty successful at it, and they do influence me. The best example is like Molly on her stream yesterday was drinking out of a coffee cup, and I just adored that coffee cup, so I went and bought one. That type of thing. Uh, so people get sponsorships from YouTube, from Twitch, things like that. And sometimes, like if you're gonna sponsor a game like a RTS game on Android, I'm not gonna do that. I still get to choose, but if that person really likes it and they get a sponsorship from it, um, I may not necessarily download that game just to support the viewer. Basically, I have the power of choice, you know. So sponsorships is, I've been told, has been kind of where the real money is when it comes to either live streaming or throwing out content on TikTok or YouTube. But there's another perspective too, because in IRL I have a friend who has a 11-year-old daughter who watches TikTok and YouTube, and watching what that little girl watches is kind of like reminiscent to the mindlessness of MTV back in the 90s and early 2000s, where there's just nothing but mindless, pure crap that's just flowing on there. And people who don't necessarily expose their daily lives to the internet may not know that YouTube has more than like dancing, twerking, like teenage girls, or things that they want to ask their parents to buy, or things like that. The internet is just this big, wide open place. And the only real difference between the internet and real life, whereas real life you have billboards and signs all over the place advertising anything and everything, only difference is there's a little bit more anonymity, you know. Um, but I won't go into that because that's encroach into one of opposite other topics. But I will say that content creation has become part of our daily lives. And I think that people are just a lot of people who do not expose themselves to the internet are just very narrow minded about what the internet truly is, and they refuse to open their minds to explore more of what's out there. Like, what's on TikTok is only like teenage girls twerking and influence their daughters to do the same thing, or on YouTube it's just things that their dad has to buy them now because they saw it on YouTube. That's a lot of people have that narrow mindedness. It's just like another TV show, another commercial. So that's my thought process on it. Sorry.
I think Luna now. Even I forgot
Uh,
the order. I think that's
it's
Luna.
Molly.
Or Molly? Okay. Go Molly.
Um, I think that being a content creator can be a job, um, but I would be a little more hesitant to call it a career though. Um, I know that we consume a lot of entertainment and it's good to like, you know, put out entertaining stuff, and a lot of people have really outgoing personalities and they would love to do stuff like that with whatever it is, um, whether it's like music or painting and stuff like that. But I think one of the things that I'm most concerned about with calling it a career, um, is so many people want to be content creators now, and there's so many other jobs. Like I feel like a few years ago, everybody wanted to be a doctor or like a lawyer or something, and now so many people want to be a content creator. And I get it because it's fun and it seems to be very easy, but it's so unreliable. Like even the people who are content creators, like Cervantes said, they usually have a bunch of other stuff going on. They're posting on every single social media several times a day. They have their sponsorships going on. Um, I don't even know. I'm sure there's other stuff too. And so I think it would be better as a hobby. I think being an entertainer and doing whatever it is that you enjoy doing as a hobby is the better route to take it, because you can have an appreciation and like for the journey, as you're like growing and doing everything, um, and just getting better at whatever it is you do. Um, than just seeing it as a career. Like, oh, like if I wanted to be a little Twitch streamer for the rest of my life, it just seems so unachievable. I know I could get successful like at this point in my life, but it's not gonna last forever, and it's still so unreliable. And like, yeah, I could probably get some, partnerships, but I don't know. I don't really love the unpredictability of it. So it can be a job, and for some people it can be like a solid career if you know what you're doing, if you do it right. It can be a business, but I think it's so much better, and I consider it to be a hobby. So I think it can be, but I think it's better to see it as a hobby.
Gotcha. About you, Luna?
It's like Molly said, a job, content creation as a job. I agree. Yes, it is a job. Career wise, not so much. Um, I think it kind of goes on like it's no different than a work from home job. It's just another job. Uh, but I think it's a lot more work on their end because you got editing to do, whether it's just posting pictures on Instagram or streaming. There's a lot of things you have to take in as a content creator to do, but it's no easy task. I think where the people draw the line is usually around like how many followers do you have, how interactive is it, like you know I've seen people on Twitch, for instance, who have less than 1,000 followers, but they probably make a killing with how many subs they get gifted all the time, whereas I've seen people with a lot of followers and they get less than 100 subs per month, and like everyone comes from a different background, a different place, a different support system, so like it can vary on that too, but I think it's a job. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think we kind of like on all the same page here. I would say that we see as a job, but like I think what you guys say it there is that most people, including ourselves, probably is not prepared, or they don't have like the full picture of what is like not exactly what's necessary, but like how much it's gonna take for them. Like everything that involves when we watch a YouTube, a fun YouTube video or a fun TikTok that we just watched. Like I don't think like most people that are not part of this world they can like grasp like everything that happened from the minute that the idea was uh was brought to life until like we had like the final result. And I can even use the this little chatting that we have right now. Do you guys know when I reached out to Cervantes, Luna, and Molly for the first time for us to try to do this? It was like last year, August, I think. Uh, so everything looks and sounds like so simple, right? In theory, no, you turn on your camera, you all friends, you know each other, you like yes, we could have do it like be like all over the place. Okay, just get on and whatever we feel like we're gonna talk, we're gonna talk. But usually, the people that are, like have reached a certain level of success, no matter in like what social media they are, they choose like to do. There is a structure of work there. There's like a bit of discipline. There's a lot of sacrifice involved, and like before I started streaming, like there's a bunch of stuff that I was like completely clueless about, and even like moments like this, and if you guys are asking, oh, why didn't happen last year when you reached out to them? Schedule stuff. Luna was about to travel to here to Brazil to spend a month here, and I was like, dude, it just felt like extremely selfish of me to be like knowing how hectic it is, like the weeks before we do a major trip like this, to be like, hey Luna, let's go, let's do it, let's get it, you can do it. It just felt like super selfish. Like, no, let's wait for her to travel, and then when she will come back. And then she came back, and then I was kind of the reason why this thing like didn't happen last year, because I had family visiting for almost 2 months. My brother came in with like my nephews and nieces, and my stream schedule got messed up. There was weeks that I couldn't even show up, and when I could, I wasn't using my face camera to preserve the privacy of my brother, the kids, everyone, at home here. So December, January, which would have been a great time, like vacation, whatever. And yeah, the schedule here, and then somebody like Molly studying, grinding, to graduate in accounting, some rough tests, and like then again, I just felt like selfish of me to be like, oh, no, don't care that much about your test. Let's do our little podcast. So that's not how it works. You know what I mean? So we all have our things going on, and look how long it took to get for you guys watching right now. It just looks super simple, right? Okay, for friends, they probably just message each other this week. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get it. And but that's not how it works. There's a lot of thought. I actually wrote it down, a bunch of like stuff here, questions. I actually like prepared like for this, so it like not everything is what it seems. Even like things that seem like extremely simple when it comes to content creation, they may have like taken way more work and time than a lot of us like can like can measure or can understand at the time. Let's see. The next question is gonna be a simple one or a tricky one. I think this is kind of in the middle. We are I think this is one of the topics and questions that the answers can change a lot from if we answer from the viewer perspective, us as viewers and us as streamers. So, like once you decide to become a content creator, either as a hobby or as a profession, when you are out there on the internet, like you're out there, right? You're like you decided kind of to expose part of your life, sometimes like even like privacy, family stuff, depending on the content that you share, as live streaming, just chatting. One of the ways, one of the things that makes us the viewers bond with us like very strong is when they find something relatable in our life stories, our little daily struggles. When we share like some personal stuff, then like there is a bond that is born there. But there's also another side to this, which is the amount of judgment, prejudice, misconceptions that involves streamers and viewers. We do it as viewers, as streamers, as mods. We gotta keep our eyes open. There's a bunch of stereotypes of streamers and problematic viewers on Twitch. So on the internet, there's no way to escape like the judgment. We always like you can be like the best person of the universe, but eventually there's gonna be like someone. You could be like the most wholesome person, do the most wholesome content. There's gonna be somebody that's gonna be arriving in your chat, saying bad things or nasty stuff or trying to grind your gears, putting their spot or twist things against you. So how do you guys like deal with this? Uh, for example, I'm gonna like tell a little example using like all the four of us over here. Um, Someone that arrives in my, for example, somebody that arrived in my stream for the first time, uh, middle of last year when my PC broke and I was gonna stay away from Twitch and everything, and then I did the sub go, and some of you guys like were amazing and helped me out. I bought all the parts of my PC and I could come back to streaming. It was a very wholesome moment. Like in the eyes of my friends, of everybody that was there involved, it was like, oh, this is amazing. This is a community that got together to support somebody that they care. But someone that arrived there just like that day, clicked on my channel, may have thought like, oof, one more of these bums asking for money on Twitch, using his viewers, like, you know what I mean, to get money, like desperate for money, money hunger, you know what I mean, which is like completely not. It was just the impression of someone that arrives right away. Same thing could have happened to Cervantes, somebody that just clicks on the stream right when somebody gives him 5 subs, and he, for those of you guys that hang out there, he does shots every time that he gets gifted 5 subs, and the same person or someone else could have said, oh my god, another one of these freaking bums like getting drunk on stream, you know what I mean, to steal money for a bunch of from a bunch of simps on the internet. Molly, somebody that arrived in her channel, clicked on her channel in the day that she just got back from her laser removal tattoo, and people were like, "Oh, how is it going? It's going." And then she's like, you know, she goes and shows the tattoo how it is, and let's say that that day she, I don't know, she's wearing shorts or whatever, and somebody just clicked on her stream. Oh my god, one or more of these freaking e-girls showing skins and farming a bunch of simps on the internet, whatever, and which is like completely not true. You know what I mean? Same with Luna. Maybe one day Luna decides to use like a shorter like clothes or whatever, and people are gonna be passing on judgments. Like, how do you guys like like feel about this? How do you guys decided to approach this? How much weight, how much importance do you guys give to the judgment slash criticism, and sometimes some of these comments, some of the criticisms can come actually. I think when it comes from strangers, it affects us a little less, but I have seen it affect it. It has affected me in a very small scale, but it has. So I'm assuming that you guys probably have been affected by random things sometimes. It's easier to like deal with it because it's someone that just you, it's just a weirdo that just came in here clearly to disrupt the environment. So timeout, whatever, like okay, we just ignore it. But when it comes to someone that we actually like give like importance to, or maybe not a totally stranger, it can like sometimes it can be like a fine line between constructive criticism and us taking things mad personal. Then the pride takes over. The little pride monster gonna jump in our ears, and then it takes over, and then all of a sudden we, you know, there's like a fallout like going on, and somebody gets like really hurt. So how you guys feel about that? How guys decided to approach that? We're gonna start with Molly now, and then Cervantes, and then Luna.
Um, when it comes to streaming and like the judgmental aspect of it, um, if it's someone in person, I take it really personally because they probably know me pretty well. So I just try not to tell people in person that I stream online because it's always really weird and the conversation always goes the same way. And they're like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I just hang out and talk." And they're like, "People paid you to talk to them. What are you saying?" And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't say anything that weird." And it's really weird. So I try not to tell people in person about it. Um, Even if they're not trying to be judgmental, it's just kind of hard to explain, especially to the older generation. Online, if I'm being judged, if it's someone that I know, I will kind of really try to hear them out, and I might do my own like self reflection, because some people I think a lot of people, especially if you know them um, personally, they do have like a good interest at heart when they're trying to give you constructive criticism. So I do try to listen to what they're saying, and if I think it's reasonable, I might do something about it, or I might just keep it on my mind and be like aware, if it's something I want to, become aware of and maybe make changes to in the future. Um, for like the judgment of other people, it's scary. It's still scary. Like that, there's always new people jumping in, and they might think that I'm another like booty hole meta girl or something. But I I don't do all that, and I just kind of remind myself that Twitch has some really crazy people on it, and I don't think I've ever done anything that I'm super ashamed of. I think I have a good community, and the people that know me, I think, would defend me that I'm not doing anything too crazy. So if I'm getting judged by like random people on the internet, it just it's just a risk you take. It'll you'll be judged by randos eventually. So that part doesn't bother me too much. I think if it ever happened in like a mass amount, it might bother me. I'm not sure what I'd do about it then. But yeah, I don't know. It depends if I'm being judged in person or online.
Let's hear
How
about
I
you,
think about
Cervantes.
it.
Okay, well, for me, there's obviously two layers to this that come to mind. One of which is like people in my community would like make a critique, and usually I am very open to constructive criticism. You should do this because, and then they would give me their reasons. If they don't give me a reason, then um, I uh, I will just like put it in the back of my mind, but more than likely I won't do anything about it until it's brought up again. And so people that I know and respect, operations, Molly, Lunabella, it could be other people in chat, Bird. I don't normally listen to physics. I'm kidding. Um, People like them in my community, they have to like give me more than you should do this way, if that makes sense. Aim higher, stop looking at the ground. uh, so constructive criticism on the game, actually, like one of Mike's comments was actually very common. I get because I am not gonna be the next crack player in Call of Duty or anything like that. So when someone comes in and makes a snap judgment, they're like, "Yeah, you suck at the game. Go back to Fortnite or play Roblox or something else." I usually just ignore, even ban, delete, timeout right away because I don't put any stock into it because no one's really telling me I don't know, you know. And then the same thing for like me being maybe a little bit larger than certain people, they're like, oh well, you fat, stop streaming, you're not pretty. It's that has happened once or twice, but it's not a common occurrence for it to really bother me. The only thing that kind of bothers me is comments about my race, I think, comments about my ethnicity. Even then, though, I deal with it. It all comes to the territory. There are people like that in real life and IRL that, I had occasion to deal with. So I don't think it's really any different on the internet outside of like the keyboard warriors with their anonymity. We're never gonna know who Deadbeat Dad 69 is on chat. All we know is that they are emboldened to type whatever the hell they want because we're not gonna figure out who they actually are. So they don't have anything to be worried about, you know. So for me, uh, I think it just comes down to, I have to just not let it bother me. Because if I do, then I might as well just get off stream. I just better not like put myself out there anymore because it's always going to bother me if that happens, and it's going to happen. So
See what about you, Luna? How do you deal
I
with
was,
it?
I was gonna say, I think the biggest judge for myself is always me. Like that's just how I've always been since I was little, and I think that's how I will forever be. Usually, if somebody says something or does something, it's not something I probably haven't said to myself or thought to myself. Uh, but it can come in various levels. Like you can see it throughout, like growing up. Like even when I was little compared to now, my best friend that I've known since I was little was judging me the hardest, and we're no longer friends, and that's like a story for another time. But we're also when I did that community night on Among Us, there was those people that decided to ruin it, and I was just like, oh my gosh, who would have thought this was gonna happen? um I don't think people like seeing people just having fun and enjoying their times. There is always a troll, and somebody always wants to ruin the fun. But you just gotta sometimes brush it off, and if you can't, like if you realize that you can't just sit back and like think about it, try to understand, and it's still bothering you, talk about it with somebody. Maybe that even works. And then if not, then I don't know, go for a run. Because it's gonna eventually not bother you anymore, and you just won't give it so much power over you that you have to just be at peace with yourself, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, no, and I hope like everyone realizes. You guys probably noticed I gave examples of someone that could have arrived in our channels and maybe misjudge us. I gave like quick like examples here, but maybe we were the ones that once like judged someone wrong, right? Because like not because I'm a terrible person, I just like clicked. I just arrived in a channel where they were having a conversation and giving some opinions and statements. They were like, "Oh my god, how can somebody even say something like that on the internet?" So I'm out, or I'm gonna be like, yeah, these people like this is a bunch of like little terrorists like chatting here on open field like on Twitch, whatever. Like I don't want to stay here. And maybe literally, it was just that moment, that stream, that conversation. Maybe that stream was like had the best vibes ever, and I just arrived in the wrong time and they had the wrong idea. So probably most of us, maybe all of us here that have been on Twitch for a while, we may have like judged people wrong. There's a very high possibility that we have done that ourselves. But like people makes mistakes, and one of the things that I started doing like, to avoid this is like giving it time. I have it's very unlikely that I like arrive in a new place, or either because I wanted or because I went with a raid. To like make, I try a lot not to make assumptions. Right, sometimes it's hard because sometimes it's pretty clear how the vibes are, the people that you're dealing with. Sometimes it's like it's clear, anybody can see it, but sometimes we may be like passing like wrong judgment. So I try to give it a time, even when I, if it is to follow a new streamer, even if I like the vibes a lot right away, but I usually take like 1 week, 2 weeks, sometimes a whole month to see like how the streamer treats like the viewers, how they treat themselves, like what are the vibes here. Like I established a bunch of like a little criteria like to for me to avoid like be judging or hating people for like no reason. I don't know like if you guys also like decided like to do similar stuff, but that leads like to another question here. The choices that you guys make or the perception that you guys have on your viewers or the streamers that you guys like choose to watch, do you guys think it's like probably when we start on Twitch, when we started on Twitch, it wasn't, but I think like by now, for me at least, it's very conscious like choice of like who I want to hang out with, what the places that I want to stay. I think back in the day it was more like okay, I arrived, I like the vibe, somebody spoke to me, okay, I'm following, I'm staying. And nowadays I think, and that can be a bad thing as well, depending if I, and I'm a little afraid that maybe nowadays I'm putting too many requirements on my little list, making almost like impossible for the people, like the viewer or the streamer to fulfill, so I can stay there. I don't want to like be that kind of person that's gonna be like a list of requirements, and I'm only gonna hang out with you if you like feel every single, like if you check every single box that I have on there. I don't want to be like that. But like, do you guys feel like that nowadays when you guys decided, and the impression, how do you say it in English again? It's like the first impression is the one that sticks to you guys. Like it's like two questions. First, like how conscious it is your choices nowadays of like a new channel to watch, a new friend like that you may have try like to connect with. Is it natural? Do you guys are like me that kind of have a little list of like, okay, they have to fit certain vibes or certain aspects, and the other ones is the first impression the one that stays. If you arrive at some place or somebody arrived, a new viewer, arrives in your chat being weird, being douche. Maybe he doesn't. He's not even like that. Like ROL, he's not even a terrible person. But like the first impression is the one that that stays for you guys, or not really? You guys consider yourselves like, okay, I'm gonna give it a time to really understand like who this person is, or that's gonna depend on how if you're having a good day or bad day. If I'm having a bad day, somebody just says the wrong thing. It's like bye bye. There will never be a second chance for you. Like, how do you guys deal with that? We're gonna start now with Cervantes, then Molly, then Luna.
Well, I can only speak for myself as a viewer. Usually, for me, the vibe is created by the interaction. You know, first off, are they really happy to see me there? If so, are they taking the time to respond to my comments? Things like that. You know, just it's all about, and part of it is emotion. The other part of it is the interaction. Well, when I say emotion, it's like, what kind of feel do I get with the streamer? Is the streamer overly toxic? Is the streamer very angry all the time? Is it a drama streamer who like to create all sorts of drama, kind of like TV shows, things like that, so it's definitely that vibe, and then sometimes that negative vibe that you would occasionally get. Sometimes is forgivable, and you get to go back and try again later. And sometimes you get you get like turned off so much that you just never go back. And that first impression is the big one to me. Now with everyone on this call, my first experience on your streams, I obviously did not stay. I did not get um, what's the best way to put it? I did not get that instant hit where it's like, oh, Luna Bella is the greatest. I'm gonna stay here and come every day from now on forever. It's like first time I introduced to Luna, I stayed for a few minutes and then left to do other stuff, and then over time the relationship grows, and sometimes that doesn't happen. And it comes down to is the communication, the interaction, and the vibe. Like with the vibe, I know the vibe is kind of a general purpose term. The best way to put it is how you feel when you are there. How you feel about the streamer's mood, interaction with the streamer, things like that. It's just me speaking as a viewer, and I hope I cultivate the same relationship as a streamer as well with other people. So, and it's the same thing with Ops, and it's the same thing with Molly. I never got that instant hit once I joined their streams, but after time goes by, get to stay, get to hang out as much as they possibly can, um, and yeah, that's then you go from there and building that relationship from there, and that's for me as a viewer, of course. Uh,
Right,
Um,
Luna, or it's Molly. Sorry, messing up the
It's
audience
Molly.
again. Yeah.
um, I feel like when I go into another stream, the first impression does matter because it's all I know about them usually. But I also try to understand that they could be that there are like exceptions and they could be having a bad day or maybe a bad stream that one day or something's really stressing them out. So I try to be a little forgiving if I don't get the best first impression. Um, but I do think first impressions are usually pretty memorable, and I think they matter.
I
How
understand
about you,
that.
Luna?
Um, Sorry, I wrote down my notes. Okay, for me, I think I always give people more than just one shot at like trying to make me feel somewhat included, somewhat like acknowledged. Because I understand sometimes a streamer just may have an off day, or you yourself may have an off day too as a viewer. Um, and I always try to see if I can come back another time that they're just probably in a better mood. But if I notice like periodically, I gave them probably a month worth of time and it's just not like I'm not vibing with them, then I just don't interact anymore. I kind of just leave it, push it off to the side and let it be. Um Granted that doesn't mean like I won't probably try again. If I see that like let's say they're in my chat often or something, I'll try to see them again and give them another shot. I don't completely block them out like that.
I see, I see. Let's see. I think there's a question that was not in this order, but maybe it's gonna fit the moment better. Let me
Mhm.
just double check here. All right, this is one of my favorites from the ones that I put in here because it's like this goes like a little beyond, and I think one of the best things about these little conversations that we have is that like they like through some specific topics and situations, in this case like our experiences through like on Twitch as viewers or streamers, like I feel like a lot of people gonna understand us a little better as persons, like a little bit of our background, because even though like we share, and that's one of the reasons why we vibe so much, why our like relationship is in the way in this in the place that it is right now, is because we share a lot of the same values, but at the same time there's a bunch of like difference between us as well. There's like some things that gonna happen in our chats that Molly probably gonna like behave a certain way, Luna's gonna approach in another way, maybe I would approach in another way. There's things that some of us we are way more patient and lenient and like condescended like with sometimes, and some stuff like we do not tolerate at any capacity, like going on in our communities or even like in private talks among ourselves and stuff. And on the internet, I have seen a lot of people stating, and I agree to that, like to like a certain level. And I have witnesses cases that are like super blatant and stuff. But there's a lot of people that claim that this also happens in even like small channels, small streamers, people that just started. And it's a little attached to what Cervantes was saying there about the anonymity of the internet as one of the worst things, like how people like the keyboard warriors, they feel at home like to come in here and do whatever they want and say whatever they want, and because they know that they not going to be punished for anything. But a lot of people state, some viewers, some people have like come to me like in private conversations uh, to state that, dude, I don't think that the this person, this streamer A, B, or C, I I don't think that this person is really who they are showing on stream. I don't know. Like sometimes even when we're watching someone, it's like this is also attached to the whole like judging and being judged in a way. I think uh, about dude. I think like that it's kind of like gossiping as well. I think like this streamer, that streamer, like this is just a bunch of like fake ass people like farming people for money. They say like they always contradicting themselves all the time, saying one thing when acting a different way. Uh, Almost like wearing a mask. And I have said this on my stream. I feel like in some capacity, I feel like everyone, as soon as we create a freaking Twitch account, even when we don't know what we're gonna find out in here, I think every time that we create an account and we kind of build this new like persona in here, uh, I think everybody in some capacity like gonna change a little bit. Not necessarily, gonna become a keyboard warrior because like nobody knows who I am. No, this is like more of an extreme case. But what do you guys feel about that? Like, how do you guys feel about this whole like projecting like personas, uh, like deviating from year one, like it was one Cervantes, year two it felt like it was completely different person, and then his channel exploded, and on year four, like it felt like this year one Cervantes and year four Cervantes was a completely different person and stuff. Uh, do you guys agree with the statement that yes, when we get in here, we kind of start wearing a mask in a sense, not necessarily becoming someone else, but we're gonna be like different from what we are IRL. RL, you guys agree with that? Does that bother you guys? The feeling that when you arrive in a place or when you interact with someone that you, I don't know, that you may like be dealing with someone that is not. I have talked to people that I actually met their streamers, their favorite streamers IRL, either in convention, in a freak meeting in the city where the streamer lives, and I have heard like both cases. And Cervantes is a witness; he can actually like talk. He's actually one of these cases on the good side. I have heard both. Like, my God, it was amazing. Like the person that I met at TwitchCon, at the coffee place, whatever they met, like that's her. That's the person that I watch every day. That's her. You know what I mean? And I have heard a couple of cases where one of them, the dude actually like was a little, I don't know, a little shocked. He was like, "Oh, dude, like that girl, like that's not who we watch every day." And he was like, "Dang, that's such a strong like statement." Uh, like, what's your guys' like opinion on this? Like this masks, like how far is it allowed to judge one's character, a streamer character, based on how different we behave on stream than we actually how we actually are in real life. We can start this one with Cervantes, and then Molly, and then Luna.
All right. Well, speaking for myself, I am me, regardless of whether I'm on stream or meeting in person. You know, and I always try to just be me. However, there's always a certain line of what amount of me you get to see. It doesn't mean that I present a different persona of myself. It just means that I'm not going to reveal all aspects of myself. And I'm not just talking about things like, my date of birth, social security number, things like that, personal details of my life, but there's always going to be some kind of secret that's going to be held back by any person, especially when they're meeting new people. And that's always the case anywhere, not just the internet, just not just on Twitch, but in real life. There's always going to be a moment that you're not proud of, that you would not necessarily want to reveal in front of other people for worry about being judged or disliked, or just for yourself. You don't think about it anymore yourself. You just burn it out of your mind as if it never happened, and that becomes your truth. And that's my perception. Now, in terms of presenting onto Twitch and my thoughts on what people do to uh, basically build relationships and start gaining support. Twitch, like any other thing, can also be a business. And we just talked about careerism as a content creator. A lot of Twitch creators um, may not be necessarily transparent about their goals for their viewers, and they come in and present what they feel is always the best version of themselves. And the best analogy I can make is people who post their lives on social media, whether it be on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and they show pictures of them enjoying the greatest lives. You'd never see the bad, so you think there is no bad. And people eat that up because people go to certain viewers, certain streamers, and they just want to see their best selves to make them feel better about themselves. So I know that there's some space on the internet for something like that. Maybe on a live stream, I personally prefer genuine person. Not everyone's always gonna have a good day, and it's okay. It's okay to not have a good day, and your viewers, if they're real ones, will understand. If they're not, then it's sausage. But if they're not, then they're not. They're just there for the entertainment value. They're not building a relationship. So that's my opinion.
Uh, I think uh, maybe, well, I mean, when we stream, I don't think that we necessarily have like a mask, or I wouldn't use that exact um, language to describe it. But I do think we act differently when we know that there's people watching or that there's certain eyes on us. So I think, streaming, like, you do kind of act a little bit different just because you know that you're being watched by so many different people. Um, and I think also like when you spend a lot of hours watching the same streamer, you kind of build up a certain like expectation for them because you feel like you've known them after all of that time. And when they disappoint that, it can be really upsetting. Um, but I get it, you know, like I kind of have the same for certain people in my chat where they're really good to me and I kind of expect them to continue being like respectful in other people's chats, and some of them aren't exactly like that, and so even I get disappointed because I even have like a standard for them that they're not always upholding, which is rare, but it
Um, I think it also varies though, because there are people that play like an actual persona, like Doctor Disrespect, for instance. Like he's not himself, obviously. Um, but for us, it's see, I get Molly's take, but I also see it in the other way where like you don't know any of these people, so like you could be your truest self, and at the end of the day, like who are they gonna tell really? You know? So like I feel like people tend to be more open online than they are with people they know in real life, just because like I know like I go to church and stuff, and if I were to tell people from church that I talk to people online, they're gonna look at me kind of weird. But like that's just my reality. So like I tend to be more reserved in real life, but on my gaming stream or whatever, I tend to open up a little bit more. Not necessarily tell my whole life on here, but I'm a little bit more open than normal. Yeah.
Okay, and that's like gonna bring like it's perfect. Your your like point of view there, Luna, because it's gonna. I think I had skipped that question, but now uh, I'm gonna bring it back because you just reminded me of it. Let me see. Yeah, we're talking about like streamers, right? Mainly in
Mhm.
the last question, like okay, we see somebody and okay, are I have heard that a lot of streamers are nothing but paid actors, and what is kind of interesting because that necessary to a lot of people, that's not even a problem. To me personally, maybe if I think, and my impression could be totally wrong, like Luna is saying, maybe the person I don't know, like don't we create this bond, these strong bonds in our heads with like the streamers sometimes because they are sharing some stuff of their lives, and sometimes it feels like we know each other. But like if we actually go back to earth, we're gonna realize that we do not know each other that well. So it could easily be again judging somebody wrong. But this whole thing of like, oh, streamers are just like paid actors. There's a lot of people like, to me, if I feel like that I'm watching somebody that's just being fake as hell and just lying, just like literally pretending to be a sweetheart, but everyone knows that she's a bitch. Uh, I usually gonna step away. But for a lot of people, that doesn't even bother them. They're like, okay, they can be the paid actor as long as she says what I want to hear, as long as she delivers the content that I want to see. I will pay. She can be pretending whoever she wants. She can lie. As soon as I'm entertained here, I don't even care. You know what I mean? There's millions of viewers that like see it like that. I don't care if it's a character. As long as she's giving the love and the attention, she's providing the entertainment, or he is providing the entertainment that I want. I don't care if he's fake, if he's a good I don't even care what they do. Or, you know what I mean? For them, it's not important. For some people, it is. For others, are important. But what Luna says is like, oh, I'm a little like more communicative over here, and I feel like I have seen and I have read this a lot in almost like all communities, and I include myself in this. I feel like here on Twitch, I talk a little more, that I engage a little more. I'm not a completely like hardcore introvert to the point of like, oh, I never leave my home. I cannot see people. I hate people. Whatever things that I think like the younger generation, uh, people that grew up more like from I don't know the 2000s, late 2000s from now. they're already with the iPhones, all the smartphones in their hands. They almost don't have to socialize if they don't want to because they can do everything on their phones. That was not my case. I grew up in the world where the internet was still growing up, so we had to talk to people. We had to go out. So I know how to deal with it, but I'm still an introvert. But over here, I felt like that sometimes I share maybe more. There's stuff that happened in my life in this past 5 years that some of you guys know, and some of my cousins that are like brothers to me, maybe they don't. My parents, maybe they don't. Sometimes we like some strangers of the internet, they know more about some stuff that are going on in our lives than some of the people that love us the most IRL. And I don't know how I feel about that. You guys see like the contradiction sometimes in some of the like this statement and some of the like how can someone like I don't know maybe somebody in the chat right now gonna relate hard to this. You'd be like, oh, I'm an introvert. I hate talking. I hate people. I hate whatever. I don't want to. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to leave my room, whatever. And then you come to your PC and then you spend 8 hours a day chatting with like the entire world on Twitch. You spend 8, 10, 12 hours telling everything about you, everything about your life. Like what kind of like I hate people is that like are we? I know it's different being shy is different from being an introvert and is different from being a what's the word hermit. I think those guys that live alone in the woods and away from the civilizations. I know it's like it's different. Well, like, do you guys think that I don't know. We sometimes we are contradicting ourselves. Are we sometimes like being kind of a fake quote unquote on that like introverts fake people hater fake you know what I mean like we like some people some of our friends here some people in the chat that sometimes arrives are all yeah I just hate everything I just hate everyone but they are here the entire day showing love showing support telling like yapping for hours and hours every single day they crave for that interaction so like uh what's going on how would you guys like explain this whole like love and hate about like yeah I want to talk to people but I don't want to talk to people let's start with Luna and then Cervantes and Molly.
Um, I gotta, I don't know, because I'm a quiet person. I'm not saying I'm introverted, right? I just don't like talking. Like if I could just sit here and stream and not talk, that is my dream occupation, and I would love to do that. But I see a lot of that too, where people will say, "Oh, I'm an introvert," but they spend I don't know hours daily talking to people and a bunch of people at that, and they got out of their way to talk to people. And I think for me, what I see, like I went to university and graduated, and I was the only one in my friend group that was a biology major. So like for me, my Twitch community was always like cool because I could talk to people regardless what time of day it is, and have them there, you know. Whereas like my actual friends in real life, they had their own classes, they had their own life, and everybody else here is already here, and we can just always talk. It's a more of a convenience thing than it is like, oh, I'm introverted, but yet I still talk to people online. I think it's more about convenience than anything, but that's my take.
It's the same with me. Uh, I'm actually very quiet in a social situation. Believe it, I don't believe it or not, but I have my own IRL friends as well, and I talk to them in person. And um, in front of a stream, in front of a camera, no one is actually physically here with me, so it is easier to talk to a chat because I do recognize that even though it's just words behind a username, I still identify them as people and understand that they are people. But it's so much easier to talk in that fashion. I don't think it's hypocritical. I don't think it's introvert. I think it's just another manner of socializing. You know, I am able to socialize with a bunch of people and talk to a group of people and have them not be physically here in my house. That's Not a bad thing. May not be the best thing either, but I am pretty fulfilled, I think, in terms of interaction with people and hanging out and building relationships. So yeah, I don't think it's hypocritical. I don't know if that's the term that Ops is looking for, but that's something that came to mind. Yeah. And I don't think it's you have to be an introvert to just be quiet or shy uh, or like to just avoid people. I don't think it's being a hermit either, even though there are people that actually are isolationists that just steer clear from other people. But but yeah, it's just another method to socialize, in my opinion.
What about you, Miss Claire?
I think that Twitch makes a lot of sense for introverts. I feel like most of the extreme extroverts are going to be, out socializing in person, but most of us who are kind of quiet, um, like I get that it's like, oh, well, you're talking to a lot of people online for hours a day. How are you introverted? But I think it makes sense because we can come and go pretty easily as we like, when we're done, when our social battery runs out, we can kind of escape pretty quickly. And we're hanging out and talking in our room, which I think also would make someone feel more comfortable and more open to talk. You don't have to leave and, you know, go out and be uh, in the rest of the world where it's really loud. Um, and I think how we were talking about earlier, that a bunch of people in our chat are our friends. Introverts love talking and hanging out with their friends, so it would make sense that we could hang out in longer periods of time on Twitch.
Yeah, I think overall it feels like we love to say that. I hear this all the time. Well, not necessarily I hear it or I read it with those words, but like it's just always implied there. I'm a lonely wolf. Like pretty much every channel that I open, I almost get those vibes. Like I'm a lone wolf. Like I'm an introvert. I'm a lone wolf, but I don't mind having an online. How's it called in English? The pack of wolves. Is that how we said? Yes, I'm a lone wolf, but like when it's online, I don't mind having my own huge pack to hang out with. I feel like that's how it goes. Would you guys say that streaming can become? I know that as a viewer, it can. I have stepped on that field. I think there was a time. Now I think I get it a little more under control. But at some point, I'm not proud to say that I think I was kind of addicted to watching Twitch all the time. And I don't think that's a good thing. We have friends. I know that's a bunch of good things that happen and they were born in here. But when we start prioritizing like online stuff and these online relationships every time, every single time, putting everything that happens on the internet above or as a priority in over the what we have going on with our families, with our jobs, with school. I think there's usually like bad consequences to that. So it's kind of like hard to find a balance. So I definitely can see uh, or could state that I think we can be addicted like to social media, to Twitch, like to freaking YouTube. But like as a streamer now, do you guys think that with like streamers perspective, do you guys think that like is it possible to get addicted to streaming? And before you guys start answering, I'm gonna give a little more like not necessarily context, but add some more stuff, or maybe just give my point of view in this. Uh, I do think that yes, and the reasons behind it is because like over here, and I think that's one of the things that makes us be a little more brave and a little more extrovert or be a little more chatty in here when we come compared to IRL is because over here we have this like we're kind of in control of everything, right? From the time that we go live, from the camera angle, oh my god, gonna get my good side, from the lighting, uh, from the people that are going to stay in here. We control the narrative. We're going to tell our stories from our point of views. We can even like tell stories where we were kind of chalked or in the wrong and make it sound like we are the superheroes or so. We can do anything. And usually the people that are hanging out with us here, they are here because they kind of vibe with us, right? So I feel like every time that we wanna like feel a little bit of love or company or reassurance, like we kind of know deep down that we can come in here because we're gonna get it. We are in control of everything that is happening here, and our friends, our closest friends, are always gonna be supportive to us. And I don't know. I feel like that can create a little bubble. This imagine this fantastic imaginary world where we're in control of everything, where we can be the superhero of the story, you can be the villain of the story, you can be whatever you want. We can keep whoever we want in here. People who disagree with us, we can, kick them out. And I don't know. I feel like living in that sort of bubble where everything is going to be the way you want it. You guys know very well that IRL is that's not how it works. As soon as we step out of our homes, like we gotta adapt. The life is gonna throw whatever life's gonna throw at us, and we have like no control over that. It's completely the opposite of here. So I think it's kind of dangerous. I'm not. I don't think I ever been on that point. I was like, dang, I need to stream because you know what I mean. I know like I need to see my friends. I know I'm gonna get all the love that I need from that, all the support. I don't think I ever got addicted, but like I can totally see that happening. And I think I've watched streamers in the past where, in my point of view, and it could be totally wrong, I think they were addicted to streaming. I think they became addicted to coming here and like hear only what they want to hear, do only what they want to do, and just like escape the reality like forever, which is okay. I think we all do that at some capacity in life. But I just feel like when we fully switch, when fully start living in that bubble of our own reality over there forever, I think when the reality check comes to grab us by the hand, I think it's gonna hit like way harder than it should if we didn't live in that bubble like all the time. So I don't know how you guys feel about it. Do you guys think is it possible? Have you guys, don't know, maybe yourselves here, ever been addicted to streaming, like feeling, like almost compelled or like I don't know, almost like a drug, like feeling weird if you guys are not here. You guys are streaming so much, so much, so much that when you guys didn't do it, like it felt weird. It felt like you guys were doing something wrong. Uh, let's start now with Molly, and then Cervantes, and then Luna.
Um, I guess maybe you could get addicted to streaming, especially if you did end up kind of having that bubble or like an echo chamber where everybody just supports everything that you do, and you can get a little bit of like a high from that of feeling, liked and appreciated, and everybody supports everything that you do, and you can do no wrong. And I think, if that happened enough times, you could really enjoy how that feels and want to do it and hang out with those same people all the time. And maybe then you could get addicted to hang out with just your group of people and doing everything that you want to do because everyone's supporting you all the time. So yeah, I think I've never witnessed it happen, or I don't know of any personal examples. I don't think I've ever had that struggle, but I can see how that would play out.
Yeah, Cervantes. So before Cervantes, and there's another thing that I didn't can add to this, like it's the money aspect, right? We're talking just about the like psychological, and once you grow, like I should have like said this before, like the question, but once you start only making loads of money, and like you are in the bubble, and the bubble was making your bank account grow, I feel like yeah, it can easily, uh, like make you never want to leave the bubble. What do you think about it, Cervantes?
Well, financial aspect aside, I'll put that to the side for now. Um, People have a tendency to crave community, and I probably knew this all along in some kind of subconscious level, but I learned reasonably recently from reading a book, Lost Connections by Johan Hari, about dealing with depression, is that surrounding yourself with people that will always understand, will always interact with, would always appreciate you, actually helps ease how you feel. So streaming as an addiction, it's more like to me, streaming because you crave that community. You were looking for someone to talk to and someone to talk back to you and to relate with, and that puts you in that emotional state that is kind of euphoric. You know, you feel better about yourself. You feel better that someone understands you, and you want to crave more of that. You know, you want to experience that more, so you go live and deal with that more. As it's related to being an addiction, yes, it can be, because that feeling of euphoria for having a bunch of people basically tell you either what you want to hear, or you know, at the very least listen and give you feedback. That's all very endearing. You know, the other side is it can be toxic and harmful when you let it take over your life. Um, and the biggest example of that is I was at an IRL birthday party probably a few months ago at this point, and there was a person who was a TikTok streamer there, and me being a streamer, kind of understood keeping tabs to the community, staying on like Discord and other social media, and just chatting with them. But when you are at an IRL event, my personal aspect is always put that phone away and not reply until later, and hoping that the person who sent you the message will understand. And if they don't, then that's tough. But there's one TikTok streamer that was at the same party, and she just couldn't get off of TikTok. And she was at a party, and her family members were there, and they're all like, you know, we're all here, you know, pay attention to us, because it's quite rude that the first thing you do is come to a party, hi, you know what I mean. It's quite, one, it's quite rude. Two, it's that person's not getting her community fulfillment, if that's the only thing I can think of, through her live interactions with people. You know, she's getting it through an app, and that's where it can get harmful, because you got to build the right balance between the stream community and your IRL community. That's my take.
Well,
Um,
Yolana?
I was gonna say, yes, it can be addicting, but I think it's more so in the aspect that people get FOMO, the fear of missing out. I wrote an essay in college about that actually, and it's more so that people tend to just not want to miss out on something, and that is hence why they get addicted. I personally haven't been addicted to streaming, but like I would say the game itself would make me addicted to streaming, because then I would last longer on streams because of that. But usually I'm just trying to rank up, and then the reward of attaining a higher rank in the game is then therefore the addicting part to me. Uh, but I've also seen people that were streaming with the money incentives. People would drop massive gifted subs, and then they feel like they have to stream all the time, and then it doesn't end up turning out that way the next month, and they just kind of slowly like start to dwindle down, and they don't stream as much. But I believe that the addicting part is just more the fear of missing out.
No, cool. And that's like the perfect cue for me to ask one of the questions that I had prepared here already. But before that, I need to check with you guys because as of now, right now, the 2 hours and a half that I have said uh, that we're gonna try like to fit everything in, we just reached to that point. So I did give you guys my word. I don't want to like I didn't fully check like the plan, the streaming plans for after our little chat in here. So if all the three of you agree to like give like another like 30 minutes at least, I'm gonna quick. I was kind of prepared for this already. I already know like from I don't know, maybe the four questions that were still like remaining here. I'm gonna cut like maybe two or three of them and jump to this next one to get like Luna's queue and go to this one that's one of my favorite on the list as well that I would like to hear the answer. Because before we go, you guys are gonna remember you started already thinking about that there. That we're gonna have a little moment to interact with the chat in the sense that you guys will pick any any question that was I liked a lot one of the K asked something right when
Hmm.
she arrived, but this was like an hour ago. So
I got it saved.
you guys gonna have your host in a moment. Like Cervantes gonna have the chance to of asking a question to the three of us. Molly gonna have a chance to. I don't know if they already uh, brought the questions. They already know what they're gonna ask to the three of us. If they don't, they can ask chat. But in spite of that, one of the questions we're gonna get like from the chat as well, one or two. So I'm gonna cut if you guys agree on staying like 30 more minutes. I even have like prepared a little game, very quick, like 10 minutes of trivia with a prize to one of you guys, one of the three of you. That I don't know if we're gonna have time. It's gonna be a trivia about me actually. I thought it was gonna be fun with a little prize. I don't know if there's gonna be enough time. But how you guys feeling right now? Do we have like this 30 minutes? Are we chilling?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good. Is it okay if I took 30 seconds to refill my coffee?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
You good?
I know realize I'm the only one that took another break stepping away, but sorry.
No,
It
don't worry.
happens.
So let me see here. Oh, it's about this. It's about the fear, Luna. It's something that like is
Hey,
very, yeah. It's a very very common thing. I've heard this so much. I think I've heard from Molly, maybe from you. And sometimes it's just implied there. Sometimes we just know because we've been around as viewers, as streamers. Like we know, and I feel like it's undeniable that being present on Twitch on a community-based like live platform where things are happening in real time and you get to engage with people in a real time as well. That being present is a very very strong like factor. It's extremely important. It's important in like keeping these friendships between viewers, between streamers, between us. When you just like disappear, there's always that little feeling uh, that dang, if I stay away for too long, it's not something I'm going to be missing out, but that I'm going to be replaced. That like even in the viewership numbers when you grinding, if you are grinding to grow your channel, like everyone has noticed and realized that as soon as you take breaks, as soon as you started being more inconsistent with stuff, you notice that the subscribers numbers are gonna go down. The viewership average usually gonna go down. Like social media is built in a way to almost like make you a slave of it. Like if you want to grow, you gotta be there like regularly. If not every day, but like almost every day. And I have constantly like heard, and I have felt like that as well. This fear of becoming irrelevant, this fear of being forgotten. As so, no matter how cool like, is the community that you build, the friendships that you build, that little doubt, like it's like always there. Like if I go MIA for a few days, people gonna forget me. Um, was I replaced already? Maybe I'm not as relevant as I thought I was. You start like questioning a bunch of stuff. So about that fear, I'm gonna like kind of turn this as like two questions, but under the same topic of fear. Do you guys still like deal with that? Uh, do you guys ever felt like you guys got a little crippled by that at some point, of like affecting the vibes of how you deal with your viewers, with your friends, because you had to take a month, even if it was not even necessarily a mental health break, it could be a work break, a vacation. We are humans, right? Everyone deserves a little vacation. Okay, I have been streaming for like 2 years without vacation. I'm going to stay away for a month, and then when you come back, you see that all your friends are playing with other people, that a bunch of stuff like happened without you. And do you guys fear not only like being forgotten, but like do you guys fear that maybe what you guys want as a viewer is not necessarily or exactly what you guys like are providing like as a streamer? Like, do you guys ever thought about this sort of like lack of like of synchrony, or or not really? What like would be like the fears that you guys feel like that you felt the most and that dictated the most like certain vibes and certain like I don't know bad moments that you guys had throughout your Twitch life? Because we all know this is a freaking roller coaster, dude. Financially, emotionally, people are coming and going all the time. Like keeping like healthy relationships in here is like it's a struggle. You guys know this. So like, what in the list of fears? Like, what is the one that affected you guys the most? It was like be forgotten, be replaced, be misunderstood? Like, what you guys fear the most? Starting, we can start like, yeah. So once you just got back, you start, then Molly, then Luna.
Me personally, I don't really have any fears. I know obviously that I didn't hear you. I did. I caught most of that. Um, I used to like stream very irregularly, and I would sometimes go weeks and months without streaming. And now I maintain a regular schedule um, of streams, and I know to create that balance of when to stay off a stream. And I do know that on the days that I don't stream, or on the days I don't stream the game that I normally stream, um, I notice that people go off and are hanging out on someone else's stream or doing something with other people versus hanging with me or just because I'm not around. But that generally doesn't frighten me. I don't know if it's because I don't stream as a means to I don't stream as a career. It's not there's no financial gain or anything like that in terms of like paying my month to month rent. There's no fear of anything like that. So it's more of just a hobby. So I guess I'm a little ambivalent to that, and I'm not worried about losing friends because the community I cultivated are friendships, and there are people that do come and go. It's typically inevitable. I'm old enough to know that friendships do come and go. People just grow apart and they move on, and um, so I can't say I live a fear-free life, but I can say I don't have any anxiety when it comes to streaming. Or in terms of like losing friends, losing homies, losing viewers, losing subs. So it's hard for me to kind of give you that answer. I can only give you the answer from perspective of other streamers, and I always try to look at other people's perspective, and it comes back to the financial aspect, which is people do this for a living. So when you take too long of a break and come back and you lost a bunch of subs because no one's going to pay for you to be absent, right? You lost a lot of like subs and donos and all that, then the fear is, of course, losing your livelihood, losing your ability to pay the rents and the bills and stuff like that. That's the only thing that I can think of, but that's not from my personal perspective.
Um, I feel like I don't really have that much of a fear when it comes to Twitch because it is kind of a hobby. But in a way, I fear that like one day I know that I won't be streaming anymore and that I probably won't talk to most people, and that's really sad. And I guess I really hope that it's a gradual thing and not like an overnight. I went on vacation and I came back and everyone left, which I don't think it'll be like that. But I hope it's a gradual thing so that I can, um, at the same time, make sure that I'm participating in like my community and having friends and stuff in person. So I don't really fear about being forgotten, but sometimes I guess I do. But I just hope I'm like prepared for like the natural way for it to go. I guess.
What about you, Luna?
I guess for me, it's more of like uh, somewhat the fear of being like replaced, but I don't even think replace is the right word. But it's kind of like I know everybody's forever changing. Like nothing is always the same. Um, but I feel like I haven't been as consistent with streaming as I should be. I used to be all the time. But life in real life is just a lot of changing factors for me. So it's kind of hard to stream all the time, for instance. So, like Cervantes mentioned, like I understand like people not coming in to sub or whatever. I get that they wouldn't just because I haven't been consistent. So like that doesn't even bother me. It's more like I just enjoy streaming and that's how it goes. But I just hope people don't forget me either, you know. Um but if they do though, they do. I There's nothing I can do about it. It happens. And yeah, I'm still a human. I'll still know and like feel things. I'll be like, oh man, I kind of miss these moments that I used to have. Um, but it eventually it fades away though too.
Can I say something
Yeah,
else?
no, it's I think that the feelings, because there's a lot of things that are subjective in this, right? Like the fact that you feel, and like I said, I agree with you. Maybe probably replace is not the best word, but I think it becomes like the right word because it's like how we feel, and how we feel is like subjective. Sometimes we can think or feel that somebody maybe doesn't appreciate us on the same level as we appreciate them, but like you cannot prove that. That's like how you feel, you know what I mean? Sometimes the person may admire you more than you ever know, but like if the person never says it or never does anything that makes you feel that way, then you're going to start questioning like how valuable you are, how real certain things are. But I feel like that's one of those situations where we just be assuming like a lot of stuff and overthinking a lot of stuff because this whole thing is like so subjective and so tricky that let's say that you are feeling unappreciated by somebody, by a streamer friend, whatever. You feeling like you guys are, going separate ways and stuff, and the one of them goes and say no. He realized that you feeling that way, and he's like, no, Luna, no, no, no. I just realized that that's how you feeling because you told me, or because I don't know. I just felt like that's how you're feeling, but don't feel like that. It's just a bunch of, and then comes this explanation, right? No, there's a bunch of stuff going in my life. That's why I have not been talking to you. Don't feel like that. Like I like you a lot, or I love you, whatever. And even when somebody goes and says and states that how much we appreciate someone, sometimes even doing that is not enough. Depending on like what we're going through, uh, some people can say and do whatever they do, and it's still not going to be enough. They're gonna say, "No, I like you, I appreciate you, I admire you," and the person on the other side gonna be like, "I don't feel that way. I don't think you're being like you're being legit, or you're being honest." You know what I mean? Like sometimes you can literally put your heart out there, and the person can still say, "I don't believe you." So it is complicated. This whole like feelings, the way I feel, is it real? Is it not? Like, is it grounded on actually like objective stuff? Is it like, oh, just my mind taking me to places that I want to go, I don't want to go and stuff. But yeah, I don't think like the whole like fear has ever like taken over. But I feel like in this year 2024, I feel like I started thinking a little more about it. Uh, and yeah, like what's going on when I'm not here anymore. Like if I stopped streaming like today, am I gonna be missed? Who's gonna be still part of my life? Uh, I feel like that's one of the difference when we stay like streaming for long. Well, year one, that kind of thought that I think like never like crossed my mind, and then you like year two, year three, year four, year five. Uh, and I just remembered before we go to the questions that you guys gonna ask and the chat's gonna ask. It's still related to fear. That's what I wanted to go, and I forgot, but just came to my mind. Actually, no. Let's go. Yeah, let's keep this. I think we talked about this enough. Do you guys, Luna, Cervantes, or Molly, one of you guys have any question ready already to become like the host and ask the other three? Or you guys want to go with the question from chat first?
I don't have a question, but I do have K Latte's question saved.
All
Do
right.
you want me to say that one?
Yeah, let me check with Cervantes and Molly. Do you guys already have a question written down or in mind, like to ask the other three of us, or no?
I
I
have
have
something
one.
in mind. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's start with Molly then. It's going to be Molly, Cervantes, and then Luna gonna ask. I remember the question that Kay did. It was a good one. All right, Miss
Um,
Claire, fire away. You are the host
okay.
now.
uh, how much longer do you think you guys will be on Twitch, either as a streamer and a viewer? Like, do you think you'll come back in 20 years? Do I have to pick who answers in order too?
I mean, yeah, we can volunteer, but if you want to pick, just fine.
Oh, no, you can volunteer.
Okay. So I'm gonna start, and then Cervantes and Luna, whoever wants like to go from there. How long do I think I'm going to be around? Uh, I think for a little longer. A little longer. I think what could change that right now would be like a drastic like working schedule, like me having to work 10 hours per day or having to move jobs, move cities. That would be something right now. The closest thing that I can think of that could like change or make me not stream anymore. Another thing that is very common, but I kind of changed my mind on it. I had like a different impression before. I always thought that as soon as like I started a family, or I don't know, I got married or stuff, that would be like instantly the day that I was gonna disappear from the internet, because I had kind of that experience at my family. That's what happened with my brother when he got married and he like my nephew was born. Like no Twitch, no games, not like literally everything that we used to do before. He was not doing anymore because of work. Literally working all day. Got home with a little baby to take care of it. Like if he sat down to play Call of Duty with me, and my sister-in-law, she's pretty too. She's a sweetheart. She was never been the those ones that's gonna like throw a freaking bottle of water at you like when she sees that you're playing video games and the kids like waiting to be put to bed and stuff. So I always thought like, okay, once we start a family, like it's over. It's like GG's boys. See you in the next life and stuff. But actually, that's not what happens. I have like tons of K's. K is one of them. K's right here. It was here in the chat. We're gonna like respond a question of her. K has like K is married with like 2 kids. We have Wolfler. Wolfler has like 3 kids. Like the amount of people that I have seen, like more on the older side, people with families, with like jobs. I have even seen like people with like in their 50s, in their 60s, streaming on Twitch, building communities. So I I'm not sure that even if I when I start my family, I think it's gonna depend a lot of circumstances of like who she is, how cool she is with all this. But I don't think the that it necessarily okay. We getting married, we gotta vanish from the internet. That's what I thought. Like seeing my brother here like up close, but I think that's going to be very personal, right? Our what we want to do with our lives, it gotta it means something. We gotta have a voice on it, and I don't think it should be an unilateral like decision where just either the husband or the wife's gonna be like, no, you're not do. I think could have been a conversation, and like there is a whole niche for that, dude. I have been seeing more and more people with kids streaming, and they're gonna find another stream that also have kids, and they're gonna start vibe together, and all of a sudden there's this group of friends like in their 40s, in their 50s, like playing games and streaming on Twitch and having a job and having kids. So it do I think it's easy? It's going to be easy? Probably not. Probably not. But like, it can be done. So I'm more open to that. So I think I still have like some good years in me. But then again, I like to live one day at a time because we never know like when life's gonna you know decide to show us that yeah that there's not in the cards for you, at least with Lot right now. But yeah, what about you? I don't know, Luna Cervantes, whoever's gonna go first.
Uh, if you'd like to go first, Luna, go ahead.
Uh, Do I see myself streaming in 20 years? Old me would have said no because, like Ops said, I think it's a very Brazilian thing though, just to like kind of have that mentality, just like, oh, once you're married or you're dating or something, it's no more your own life. You know, you got to focus on your partner. But I now that I've been on Twitch for 4 almost 5 years, I've seen more and more like couple streamers or like streamers that are parents and they still stream, or older streamers. And it's just like that's kind of inspiring because I never thought that would ever happen ever in my life. Because usually growing up, especially being a girl gamer, my parents were always like, gaming, especially shooting games, aren't for girls. Like, you should not be doing this. And so, like, the fact that the world has evolved enough where there's an older crowd that's still gaming and they stream on top of that is just, it's amazing. So I do think I would still be streaming, but on Twitch, who knows? But streaming wise, it's a yes for me.
Well, for me, obviously I'm a little older than all of you, and but I'm not gonna say mortality is an issue just yet. But in terms of whether or not I'm gonna be streaming for the next 20 years, is a little situational, I guess. I guess my best answer to that is I'm going to stream for as long as I could, as long as I am in a position where I'm able to do so. Whether it be health wise, financial wise, um, whether or not I can sustain the ability to go live. That's as long as I plan to stream. So I've heard in the past that streaming is a young person's game, particularly someone who has a lot of time and no roots, no nesting, no family or no big family, where they're not married, they don't have any kids yet, so they have time to keep streaming. And then once they get to a certain age, they get to stop streaming because they're just too old for it. I've heard those comments actually a few times before, and I disagree with all of it, every single one. I think that it's possible to have a family and still find time to stream, especially if you love to do it. It's all about finding that right balance in life to do it. So the only thing that prevents me from streaming, as long as I have the desire to do it, is just my situation with work, with life, health. That would all be the only things that'll stop me from streaming. So that's my answer.
Cool, cool. All right, Luna, fire away. What was Kay's question?
So she wrote, what are some ways you guys work through the streamer self doubt? Or maybe you hit a rut or ended stream and think you're not good enough to be on this platform. Yeah, that's the question. So streamer self doubt.
Streamer self-doubt. Do any of you guys wanna start, or should I?
I can
Start.
start. Oh, you can go, Molly.
No, I
Go
don't
ahead. Go ahead. Oh, you don't want to?
I
Okay.
don't-
I think it's very common for everyone to feel like a little unmotivated often, especially when you're streaming daily. Okay, it's it can take a toll on you. Um, but for the most part, you just gotta remember that at the end of the day, whether you are having a good or a bad day, like we mentioned before, people are there for you. Um, it's important to always keep a healthy mind, keep yourself healthy, and to not just think like, oh my gosh, I have to stream today and this is going to be so exhausting and whatever. Unless if you do want to take it that way and you take it as like a job more so than a hobby, then it can be stressful. I think any job is stressful, whatever you do in life. Um, but if you just take it on day by day, where it's like, today I give myself an hour to stream, and you don't have to have long streams either. I think that does take a toll on anybody. I can say so myself. um, but yeah, that's my take. I think you just gotta keep on pushing And if it's not like needed or necessary to take a break for a week or a month or a year, who knows? Like whatever you have to like know yourself, know your limitations, and go accordingly.
Go on, Molly.
Um, I take a nap if I have a bad stream day, and then I usually feel a little better. That's all.
It never fails. We are witnesses of that. Like
W
almost
nap.
every week. Yeah. She took the concept of power naps to another level, guys.
Listen, I be taking naps all the time, anytime.
What about you, Sabatis?
Well, imposter syndrome is not really a thing for me. Like, not being good enough at, let's say, COD, and I'm a COD streamer, it's not something that concerns me. If it did, I would have stopped a long time ago. Um, so I'm not worried about not being good enough to stream. My only thing was more sometimes I'm not in the mood to stream that day, and I had because I had a bad day, or I'm just not feeling up to it, or I'm exhausted or whatever. But I still stubbornly go live, and I found that doing so, especially a good positive stream, does tend to re-energize me, because I don't look at it like a job. I don't look at it like work. Because once you turn what you enjoy doing into a chore, that's when it becomes a job. It becomes a work, and then when you don't feel like it, it's easy to not do it. But yeah, there are times on stream. There are bad streams too, and bad streams typically involve lots of drama, lots of negativity in chat. And for that, usually just a break would do it, and then just go back to normal the next day. And when some things are irreparable, it depends on the people involved and a judgment call on either the streamer or the mods of that stream to cut out that negativity and then go back to streaming the way you normally stream. You there are, Inkling just point out there are drama streams because people are attracted to drama. People are so attracted to drama. It's not even funny, but it really depends on the streamer then on what they uh, decide what they want their stream's tone to be. So that's my take.
Can I add
Right.
one more thing?
Yep. Go
Uh,
ahead.
Because then she also asked, like you think you're not good enough to be on this platform. Um, Everyone deserves their space anywhere they are in the world. So if you ever have that thought in your head, you can throw it in the bin because you're you. You are breathing oxygen and you deserve to take space wherever you are, no matter where you are or who you're talking to. And that's just like how you always have to think of things. And even if you think you don't have the self confidence to do so, you have to fake confidence until you are confident. And that's, I know that like probably a lot of people have mentioned that or said that before. But it's true. You gotta fake it till you make it. And I'm not kidding. And it's just how it works in life. But I just wanted to add that.
Also,
Cool. Cool.
you gotta just not be afraid or not let other people define you. If like someone is adamant that I think you're terrible at streaming, I don't like you at all, I disagree with your beliefs, or you suck at this game, or anything like that, if there are people in your chat that are like that, you know usually I just encourage people to hit that little X on the top right hand corner of the screen and say, that's your complaint department right there, just click that. You don't have to be here if you don't like me. As simple as that. So that's my take as well.
Yeah. For me, I think I also like Savannah to say that I don't think I ever dealt with that much, but because my case here, and I think the response to her first question always gonna like going back to those layers that I said in the beginning of the stream. Do you do this for a hobby? Do you do this for full time? Do you plan? Where are you from? Like all of this like changes. Like for me, doing this as a hobby having everything like chalked as hell as I am, like I said in the beginning, like joking around, like chalked camera, chalked the light, chalked microphone, the streamer is chalked, everything is chalked. I cannot really even take myself seriously. You know what I mean? Probably maybe if I was just like scrolling around on Twitch and if I clicked in my own stream, I was just gonna laugh at it. So I'm kind of aware of that, and I'm just like vibing with my friends here. So I do not have this. Of course, I would love to have to grow the community, to have more people around, but like that's not like a life mission of mine right now, to be like grinding. I don't even have the time to do that, even if I wanted to. Like to grow, to become big, like to make, to be able to pay my bills like from Twitch. That would be amazing. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't even have like the time like to do that right now. Maybe I will have in the future. So naturally, I don't stress out much about it. But like now, trying to think with a head of someone that actually takes this a little more serious than I do, there's like little stuff maybe that you can do. Like Luna already mentioned some stuff. Cervantes, Molly, like taking a little break. If you are like way too stressed, like try to like surround yourself like to positive, people. Go do something that you like. To me, for example, would be like grabbing the guitar that you guys can see in the back, or maybe you guys cannot see because it's dark, and go play for a little bit. Go walk with my dog. Like do things that like make you happy. To try to snap out of it a little bit of those negative thoughts. And the main one for me, and we talked about this early, is like the freaking comparison, being comparing ourselves to others. Like it's kind of easier said than done, but like there's like two aspects to the comparison, because like it's a little unfair if you only compare yourself like to everyone that's already on top. You got to remember to compare yourself. Also remember that now maybe you have like 10, 20, 30 viewers, but one day you only had one. You gotta remember that you made progress. That this whole thing of like being successful, and it can also be a little subjective as well. For a guy with a one viewer, a streamer that has 20 viewers is like, oh my god, so real. That's the dream of my life to have 20 viewers. Uh, for somebody that has 20 viewers, for them it's nothing. I'm a small fish, right? They want to be the guy that has like 100 viewers. Uh, I have seen streamers with 200, 300, 400 viewers that make like freaking 10, $15,000 of month on Twitch, referring to themselves as a small streamer. I'm a small streamer, and like I can see that, but to me it's not. If you make like $15,000 per month on Twitch, like I'm sorry, but to me, in my concept, like you're not a small streamer. But like I'm saying, this is subjective in their heads. If they compare themselves to freaking Team Detachment, they're gonna feel like a small streamer. You know what I mean? So gotta know when you compare, like it's good like to have like some reference up high, but remember that like every little step that you accomplish, every little step that you take, maybe it put you in a better position than a lot of people that are still like behind you. You gotta sometimes remember to compare like yourself with those that have been trying, and maybe they didn't get it, maybe they will never get it, and you grew. You know what I mean? So be a little fair. Like don't let our minds like treat ourselves like that, but only seeing like the negative side of stuff. And I know that's very hard, but I think that's when the to wrap it up. This my answer. I think that's when the friends kick in. That's when like we need our friends the most. So usually our the friends are the people that really care. That gonna come in. Like don't be afraid to talk, to trust someone, to tell how you feel, because it's usually our friends, the people that loves and understands us the most, that are gonna make us snap out of that negative mind state or thinking that we're never good enough. So yeah, that would be my answer.
I think so too. This is like especially for Kay though. It's just like she grew up, like she like blew up from one month to another, and
Yeah, I remember
I
that.
think you have to remember like it's the small wins. Like I know it could be so exhausting, but you have to remember that feeling of like, wow, like I had 50 plus people in my chat that one time, and then there was all this craziness happening, and it's true. Like you got to remember those moments, and you got to like focus on it and just think like, wow, like I am so blessed to be here because these people took time out of their day and they did this to me, and I like blew up, and it's just like amazing. But I understand it could get exhausting, and you just have self-doubt. I think self-doubt is normal. I think if you didn't have self doubt, you're not normal. You're not natural. Like everybody does. Everybody goes through it. Any little change or something not going right or how you perceived it to be going, it will have anybody thinking the same way. So yeah.
Yep. So we're getting like close to the end of the stream, guys. Before the next question, that could be like the last one, I just want to give a heads up to the three of you, Cervantes, Maltz, and Luna. After the next question, I want you guys like to start thinking. I saw somebody in chat. I don't remember. Maybe it was Tom. Tom. There was someone else as well, saying, "Oh, let's like think of like something on like lighter notes and stuff." And I had thought of that before the stream, and that's why I created my little trivia game. That I'm not sure if we're gonna have time to do it, but besides that, there's another thing that's gonna be like there was thought trying to end up like the stream in a good note to bring some good laughs, and I'm just good. I haven't said to them in advance, so I'm gonna say that now because they're gonna have like time to think about it. But one of the last things that we're gonna do before we end the stream here is like share stories of funny moments that we remember from each other that happened on stream. So I already have a bunch of like stuff that I can remember from you guys that I heard in your stream, that I saw, that I was there in the day. So I already have like those funny memories. But you guys were not prepared for that, so gonna have like to go there in the memory and try to remember like something funny that you guys either watched it, heard it, or lived with the other one of us that are here right now. Okay, you guys started
Mhm.
thinking now because we're gonna share the stories after this. So to kind of wrap it up, this whole like kind of Q&A, uh how do you guys would like to, and I know I ended up like there's like a couple of very interesting questions, but you can even tackle this like individually in our own streams, like chatting streams and stuff. So it's okay. I think we have like had a good run here, like even like longer than I was expecting, which is great. I'm glad like you guys were available, because if you guys were not, if you guys had anything to do, or maybe myself, if I had like a dinner family, whatever, I'm gonna have like to cut the stream short, which was not the case. We were able like to follow, the list like pretty well here. But I can wrap it up this Q&A like convo with the question: how would you like, how you guys kind of like in align with like Molly asked us, how would you guys would like to be remembered if by any chance all of us we agreed that okay, we don't see any reason why we should like uh leave Twitch right away, even if we start a family. Maybe we will have to, but maybe we won't. We don't need like to suffer in anticipation for that, because we don't know when it's going to happen, who's going to be like how cool our partners going to be with it. So it could, anything could happen, right? But then again, something could happen if by any chance this weekend, this next week was like the, you guys knew for a fact that it was going to be your last week ever or day ever on Twitch, streaming on Twitch. uh how would you guys would like to be remembered? Do you guys ever thought about this? Do you guys think that you guys have had like the impact that you guys wanted to have like in other people's lives? uh do you guys even think about that, or you guys are just, no, I'm living one day at a time, and never even like stop to think about it? If when I live, I'm gonna try like to say bye. Would you guys do one final stream to like to say goodbye, or you guys think that's too much, that was gonna be like too intense, too many tears? We're just gonna be like bye in Discord. All right, guys, it has been fun, I love you all. Like how would you guys would like to be remember, if you guys were forced to stop streaming like pretty soon? I'm gonna start with Molly, and then Cervantes, and then Luna for this final one.
Um, I don't really think about it that much about leaving. I know the day will come, but um, I don't know what I would want to be remembered by. Um, maybe like being Christian or something, because I yap on about that all the time. And I don't know. I want to do one final stream, but it sounds so sad that I kind of don't want to do it. Like I do in principle, but I think I would cry a lot.
Yeah, there will be some tears for sure. Not only from you, let me tell you. We have had some emotional moments in there in our stream. Um, what about you, Cervantes?
I can't say whether or not I would be remembered as anything other than a friend and or acquaintance. So it's like you remember fondly that he used to stream. He used to be really good, and now he's gone. And sadly, I have fond memories, but now it's just gotta move on with my life, type of thing. I don't think I've really left a huge mark. I know that sounds sad and depressing. It really isn't. I know that I've just primarily been a community builder and a friend to all. So, and friends do move on over time. So, as for there's nothing more I can say. There's nothing I can do to make myself want to be more remembered than that. Once I move on, once I'm no longer around, you know. As for like when or how long or that would be, I couldn't say. I couldn't even say if it'll ever happen. I mean, obviously it will. All good things always come to an end. But um, as for whether or not I would do a final stream, that's a hard answer too. I guess I would have to make that decision when the time comes. So
Yeah,
I can't say either way.
I hear you. What about
Um,
you, Luna?
the first question, what I want people to remember me as, I have no idea. I hope they think of me as like a kind-hearted person, um, or a good person, uh, or someone that's sometimes smart. But I generally don't know. As long as I could impact them in a positive way, that's all that matters to me. Um, the final stream moment, though, I don't I don't know. I don't think I would have like a final stream. I would just stream until I just can't anymore or I'm no longer here. God forbid. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that second question either.
No, let me just reverse the question here, like kind of bring into the viewer's perspective. Uh,
Mm,
if you got, it happened with somebody that we I mean when I say we, like Cervantes and Molly. I don't know like if you ever been there, but there's a streamer that we watched, like Bibo. If you ever watch this, we miss you a lot. Wonder all hard for you. She actually did a goodbye stream. Like you guys as a viewer, you should guys like hop in a channel where that is happening, someone saying goodbye and whatever. You guys think it's dramatic or sweet as a viewer? As a streamer is something. It's hella intense. I think I was probably gonna cry too if I ever had to do it. One final stream and saying goodbye to. Probably the way that I am. I already know myself. There will be tears, but yeah, as a viewer, if you like get in a channel and you see like a goodbye stream, saying bye to everyone, and yeah, it was fun. Whatever, you guys are gonna think of, dang, this is a little dramatic, or you guys gonna think of this sweet? Maybe I would not be strong enough to do it, but it's sweet. In the end of the day, it's sweet. How you guys feel about it as a viewer, as viewers?
I think it's very sweet.
You think it's sweet?
Respectful
Yeah.
of your
I think it's
community.
yeah, I think it's thoughtful. You take consideration of other people's feelings. It's not just abandoning them and just never showing up ever again. You know.
What about you, Cervantes?
Yeah, I agree with Luna Molly. I think it's sweet. I think it's respectful. I think it's considerate to do a goodbye, to have done a goodbye, I should say.
Right. Cool. Cool. Okay. No, like no one is leaving, guys. Calm down. It's just a question. And now we're going to for maybe some laughs in here. I'm gonna start with the stories. I asked for them to think of like funny moments that they can remember. Could be games, could be a stream, uh, something specific that happened on stream. I'm gonna start it because maybe that's gonna help their own memories, like to remember certain stuff. There's plenty. Over here, logically, I don't know all of them. I'm like Cervantes, Luna, and Molly for the same amount of time. Molly is the one that I have been hanging out with the most. But it's kind of like a little escalator, a little ladder. It was like Molly 2021, Cervantes 2022, and I'm pretty sure Luna was like 2023. And I think it was around the same time, around the middle of the year. And of course, naturally, I can remember more stories like from Molly just because like I have been like there for the longest. But we have like some very like funny moments in all of them. And I'm going to start with Luna Classic. I think that story probably Cervantes and I don't know if Molly was there, but like even people that were not there, they know about this. It was like freaking Luna going live, waking up in the morning, going to her PC to play
No.
the scenes and going live on Twitch without even knowing that she was live, just vibing and jamming there like for the entire morning. Like yeah, making her scenes, making her house. I don't even remember when she realized. Like we were in chat, like talking about. I don't know, like who brought her attention to yo girl. Are you ignoring us? Do you know that you're live on Twitch and stuff? And it was just hilarious. We just had like a great laugh about it. So that one is a classic with Cervantes, dude, there's been plenty, but it's a lot of like banters in the game, but something similar in the lines of what happened to Luna. When we have our Pepega streamer moments on Twitch, like me literally hosting here and forgetting that I was muted in the beginning, like at some part of the stream here. Freaking Cervantes has his voice changer there, right? The mixer, the Gold XLR, whatever. And I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, he activated the chipmunk voice without realizing. And this man literally stayed on stream for like almost an hour talking like a chipmunk without knowing that he was doing. And what made like that even funnier is that Imp, one of our buddies and the mod, Imp arrived in the chat to warn him, and freaking Imp, instead of saying, "Yo, dude, you're having your chipmunk voice on," Imp just wrote out. He meant to write auto tune to say Cervantes had the voice changer activated, but he misspelled. So he wrote this. Let me type in chat. And then Cervantes was like, and then Cervantes read it and was like, because Imp likes to troll us a lot. And Cervantes was like, a tune? I don't know what that is. And then he stayed with the freaking chipmunk voice, like for another good chunk. And I'm like, oh my god, bro. And another recent one was like in the games Call of Duty that has this freaking like when we win the game Black Ops 6, you can do some dances, you can emote with the characters, and there's a little dance that every time that we win and we make the top three, we do it. But like right when we started doing that, it was not a combined to like it is right now. Like you gotta do it, keep reminding yourself, dance, dance, dance. But like when it happened for the first time, I never told him this, but it was funny because I was distracted here of the game just ended. I went to check my phone, and this man just screamed. He usually is not that loud, but that day I don't know, for some reason he was extra loud, and he was like, "Dance, bitch, dance!" I jumped in my chair. He was like, "What? Like what's going on? Are you talking to me, dude?" It was just like the regular like dancing thing in Call of Duty, and was just laughing by myself here. I was like, what is going on? And with Molly has a gallery, dude. I literally would have like it would take me like 40 minutes to list like 20 moments in Molly stream. So I'm gonna just like literally go through two of them, a couple of them. Uh, because it's great because in Molly's stream it's all like documented. Nobody ever misses a chance of like trolling her and going clipping the funny stuff or the embarrassing moments. But like her dropping the cake was a recent one that was hilarious. Um, the guy in, in love with her in the car wash was super funny. But to me, one very memorable one was like when she was attacked by a bug. She was spending the weekend at her father's place, and then she was sleeping in a camper and stuff. And then like everything was like super calm, and chill. She was almost like falling asleep, like in bed, just talking to us. And all of a sudden, this woman like we have that moment clipped as well. I was in bed. I'll never forget that. I was in bed in my phone. This woman like gives a scream that made me think that somebody was like coming in like to murder her. I jumped like in my bed. I'm glad that my phone didn't hit the ground and stuff. And those 5 seconds that it took me for me to grab my headset again and understand what was going on, my heart was like just pounding. And then when I grabbed my phone and I put in my headset, she was just laughing. Oh, it's a bug, whatever. And everybody just laughing like crazy. It's super funny. There's a clip of it, but what it made like extra memorable for me and extra funny is because like Bebo was streaming, and I was just like like laughing like uncontrollably. And I went there. Gogo was there as well in her chat. I was like, guys, you guys are not gonna believe what just happened in Molly's stream, and I posted the clip there, and that probably was one of the most like contagious, genuine, and loud laughs that I ever heard Bebo like doing on stream. It was so funny. We're just laughing for like a good chunk there. It was hilarious. But yeah, Molly has literally a whole library you can visit at any moment of like funny stuff over there, which is pretty cool. But yeah, we have like a bunch of like cool memories with all of them already. Like even with Luna, which is the one that I met most recently. But yeah, if we wanna, we can talk. We can be serious when we need to be. But if it's something that maybe it's not like very blatant right now because we're talking we talked about like some stuff that can be considered like very deep. Actually, we're diving into like human psyche and stuff. But we do have our sense of humor. Make no mistakes, guys. We can have some good laughs when we want to. So do you guys remember anything specific that happened on stream? My stream, Molly stream, Luna stream, Cervantes. That
For Molly's stream, I remember one time she got drunk or she was drinking on stream. And then she decided to do a face mask. And she went to go wash her face. I think this is like one of the
I
rare
remember
times she was
that.
streaming until like 2 in the morning, or I don't even remember. And then she washed her face. And I can't remember if it was on her shirt or on her arm. But after she came back, she realized it was still there. And she was just like about to go in like a fizzle of like, I don't know. She was just like, I can't believe it. I can't believe it's still here. It was like following her, the face mask. It was a
Don't remember
tragedy.
that.
You don't remember that?
She did, yeah. She said she didn't remember it the next day, but it was so funny to me.
I remember
Uh,
when Bobby burned down the kitchen
Oh.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
and then we
oh
jumped into
gosh,
Vonta's stream.
Yeah,
We
you guys
call
are
it
playing.
we
We're,
like
we're playing like off stream, right? There was one of us streaming, and then you guys like played.
Yeah, Molly
Overcooked, and
shared
then
her
you guys
screen
came
with
to
me.
tell. Oh yeah, they shared the
yeah, and
screen.
then
Yeah,
we
yeah.
jumped in and took over his entire Discord and started fighting over the kitchen. But it was fun.
What about
Well,
you, Cervantes?
one of Luna
Any
Bella's
funny memories?
streams, she was playing Red Dead Redemption, and I was telling her to get this exquisite horse that's like the best horse in the game. So she did. On the way, her horse that she already had died on the way there, and she was also not equipped for winter weather on her character, so her character was losing health. No horse to get out of that situation, and what was worse that the horse I told her to get wasn't there. And I was just sitting there
yep.
like, well, what do you do now? You just like run all the way back.
I think I'm
I,
still
rem-
there on that game.
I remember when Cervantes was riding a horse on Red Dead Redemption and he killed the horse, so he went back in time and pretended it never happened.
I had to
Wait, is
save
there
Luna.
is there time travel in that game? Did I miss something?
I
If you
loaded from
don't
a
save the
save.
game,
Oh, you went back to
yeah,
the save. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm afraid we all have
crazy.
done that with some game at some capacity. But yeah, the gaming, like the game moments, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. So do you guys want to play the little trivia game? It's gonna be pretty quick. I think it's gonna be 5 to 10 minutes because I have a watch here. You guys gonna have only 10 seconds to answer the question, right? And whoever answers the most amount of questions like right, I'm gonna drop like five gifted subs in your stream before I end it. Are you guys down to do it? You guys can get help from the chat. Let me explain how the game's gonna go down pretty quick. So I have a bunch of maybe 10 questions, 11 questions here. I'm gonna choose in a specific order that you guys are not gonna be able to tell. Oh, it was rigged, whatever. I'm sending. Who is here in the chat right now? Extinct, Dale, is one of you guys in here? I just need to message one of you guys so you guys can be witness that nothing here is rigged. I make it easier for anyone. All right.
Dale's there.
Bumpy,
Extinct.
Bumpy, can you check your Discord pretty quick? You're gonna have to copy and paste this. Oh no, you're not at home, Bumpy. Never mind. Yeah, Tom Tom is here. Let me just put the order here. Tom Tom, I'm giving you a numeric order here, and after they pick the number, you just gotta type this. All right, I sent you. Let me just like let them pick the number. So that's how it's gonna go. There's gonna be a number. You guys have only one attempt, one valid attempt per question. Is little questions about myself. Nothing, no content in these questions are secret or super tough. It's all things that I have said or shared on stream at least a couple of times. Stories, things that happen on stream, things that happen in my life. So it's random shenanigans here that I know that some of you like easy know the answers, but others maybe not really. So the order here of the people answering the question can have like a huge impact. So that's what I'm doing here. People in chat, number 1, 2, 3, start typing. Pick a number, one, two, or three. The number that gets voted the most, it's going to be the person that's going to start the question. It can be like a super easy question, but all right. And please help me out. Count. I 2, 2, 1, 3, 2, 2. Okay, two as the most votes. I'm going to give 1 minute for this counting. This little counting here. Okay, I think it was we kind of balanced between 1 and 2 here. I don't know how the poll is gonna work for all the chats. I'm not sure. Maybe it would be easy doing the poll, but I never did a poll in combined chat, so not gonna. I'm not sure it's there's gonna. No, it's okay. Let me count here pretty quick. 1, 2, 3, 4.
One has four, two
Yeah,
has
one,
three,
one,
three
one,
has
one.
two.
One has one. All right, Tonton, copy and paste the order in the chat that was previous combined. So 1 is Luna, 2 and Cervantes, and 3 is Molly. So Luna is gonna start answering. Okay, it's gonna be you're gonna have 10 seconds, Luna. If you don't get the answer right, I'm gonna skip like the question's gonna be moved on to Cervantes, and
Okay.
even when you guys don't if you when you guys get the answer correct, you guys don't get like to go twice. We're gonna be rotating, and by the end of all the questions or the 10 questions that I have in here, the person that gets the most answers right is gonna get some subs dropped over there. 5 subs, okay? Deal?
Okay.
Ready, friend? Are you guys ready? Luna?
No.
Let me see if my let me see if my little watch. I'm gonna be timing here, and if it reaches 10 seconds, I'm gonna just stop and try to show you guys. Okay? So it's 10 seconds. That's all you have. It's like simple questions.
Mhm.
All right, get ready. And if you guys in chat can actually help me with like counting the amount of correct answers here, that would be cool. If you, I forgot to bring a freaking piece of paper here. I usually do like those little squares to keep like counting on the on votes or the right answers. All right, Miss Luna Bella, my Brazilian friend, my Brazilian/American friend. What's the name of my dog? 10 seconds starting right now.
It
Don't
starts
no
with
but
an N.
no
starts
no
with
one
an
needs
N.
to feel bad. The chat can help, but like okay, it was 10 seconds. Cervantes,
It's okay.
10 seconds.
Nina?
What's the name of my dog? Okay, Cervantes got it right. So 1 point for Cervantes. If you
Thank you,
guys can
Bobby Thunder.
type it down.
Wow, Bobby.
Yeah, try to the chat can help, but if you guys like want the real challenge, try to avoid that. Unless it's like the final second, you get desperate and you go there. Wait, after Molly now. I don't think I actually don't think she's gonna remember this. I spoke this like it's been a while since I've talked about it, but it's also like a simple question. Molly, what is the breed of my first dog? My first best friend. I've talked about him on stream
A
several times, but
chihuahua?
it's been a while. No.
I don't know.
Luna?
A beagle.
No, you don't
Shih
get it.
Tzu.
You lost your chance. A Shih Tzu?
Shih
No.
Tzu.
Cervantes?
Yorkie.
No, dang,
Oh.
nobody knew. Is there anybody in chat right now that knows, that's gonna remember? You know who I think knows the answer to this? Everyone's Aloe. Maybe she knows. That's a huge tip already, because we had the same dog, the same breed as her dog.
German Shepherd?
Yeah, it's a German Shepherd. So the object
Mm.
of the game is not just testing the knowledge, just like actually learning stuff about me. There's a bunch of stuff that you guys know. There's a bunch of stuff you guys don't know. Let me start over the clock. So, oh my god, I forgot who was the last now. It was like
I
Molly.
went
She didn't
last.
know, and then
Should be
Cervantes didn't know, and
Luna
Luna didn't know.
again.
So we go back to Molly. We go back to Molly then.
Oh,
Um, okay. Uh, Timer starting. Molly Claire, how many siblings do I have?
2.
Yes. Point to Molly. Can you guys write it down there? Cervantes. Am I the oldest or the youngest among my siblings?
you're in the middle.
No. Luna?
Younger.
No. And now it's easy. It was handed to Molly again.
Older?
Yeah, I'm the oldest of the three. I have a brother and a sister. Um, so now Molly, we go to Cervantes. Cervantes, what was my graduation in college? What did I graduate at?
Can you be more specific? Like, how old were you, or what do you mean? What
Wait,
did you
sorry, there was
graduate at?
yeah. What did I study? I graduated in college in what course? What did I study? Molly's graduated in accounting. Luna is studying medicine. What did I study? What did I graduate?
Finance, trading.
No. Luna?
Business.
Nope. Molly?
Biology.
Yes, biology. Cervantes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's three for Molly. Cervantes.
Remember the teacher's story?
Yeah, that's not like a story that I'm proud of, to be honest. Having to beg to pass a class, but yeah, I told that story on stream a couple of times. Oh, it's kind of funny that this question landed on Cervantes. Cervantes, what's the football club that I support? Football slash soccer, the real football, the football team that I support in Europe. Go, 10 seconds.
Chelsea.
No. Luna? Luna knows this.
Man United.
Manchester United, yes. Point for Luna.
You're a Man United fan?
Manchester
Really?
Yes.
I never saw that
Yes,
in a
I
million
am.
years.
That freaking team has been stressing me more than anything this past years. But on Wednesday we had
That
actually had
last
a
game was
very yeah,
crazy.
it was crazy. I was like almost crying here. Wait, whose turn is this? Luna got it right, so it's Molly now, right? Okay. Uh, during the vacation, the Christmas vacation here in Brazil, like it's summer here in Brazil. It's not like in North America. I had the visit of my brother. I got to see my nephew and my nieces again. And like I said, I did everything like to keep their privacy here. I was streaming with no cam, or you know, to make sure that nobody's gonna just pop up. But one of them popped up during my streams. One of the kids ran, and I wasn't fast enough like to switch scenes. Uh, they just ran and hugged me. Who did that? It was my nephew or my niece.
Your nephew?
10 seconds. No.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think you were there that day. So there's only like two options. So you can pretty much score the point to Cervantes here because there's no way he's gonna get it wrong. Uh, all right, Cervantes. Who is my favorite superhero? 10 seconds. It's starting now.
Superman.
Yes, correct. Point to Cervantes. If you guys can score the point to him now. Lunabella. The last console that I had in my life was an Xbox or a PlayStation. 10 seconds.
Xbox.
Xbox. All right, point for Luna. Uh, let me start the time over again. Molly Claire, what was the band that the first CD that I ever bought in my life? It was from which rock and roll band? Pearl Jam, Oasis, or Nirvana? 10 seconds.
Oasis.
Yes, Oasis. Point for Molly. Um, Cervantes. This black guitar there. There's a couple of clips with it. It featured in my face cam review last year, my anniversary. I don't use it that much anymore because I have like a better one that's a very old one that's like almost like disintegrating by now. But that one is not in the trash for a reason. There's one reason why I didn't. That thing is like chalked as it can be. But I never threw it away for a reason. Why?
It
Why I
was
never got rid of that with that guitar?
it's the guitar you learned off of.
Yeah, no, that counts. It's kind of a way of saying like because it's my first guitar, the first one that I ever did. So point to Cervantes. Are you guys keeping up with that
They're arguing.
in chat? They are nice. I think Molly has, I don't know, four. Luna two, Cervantes two or three. I'm not sure. How many questions do I have? Or I have a couple more. If if ends up in a tie, I'm gonna like come up with another one. So we have like the tie break. Uh, who I asked last? Who answered the last question there? I just forgot.
I
Was
did.
Cervantes?
Yeah.
Cervantes.
Yeah, Cervantes. So now it's Luna. Um, Luna, if I were to travel right now, and if I have to choose between going to Australia, the United States, or Italy, what would be my priority? What would be the country that I would pick to visit first? 10 seconds, you can go.
Italy.
No. Molly,
United States.
the U.S. Yes, points for Molly. Okay, how many? I think I have two more. No, maybe it's the last one. Oh my god, this is hilarious. I'm not sure if Cervantes was there listening to that story. Uh, Cervantes, I had a stalker once when I was 14 years old, and that happened in the United States. I was actually in the United States, and that crazy little horny dog, to use a expression that Molly used yesterday, she she tried everything that she could, like to to pop that cherry. And her last desperation attempt, like to lure me into her room in the ship that we were. Actually, it was two stalkers, but her friend, I think, was just dragged in there to lure me in, to lock me in inside of a room with her. She took something that belonged to me, like to make me go, to force me go there. Like, how did it? What did she get? How did she lure me in so she could do whatever satanic sexual sacrifice me to the god of oceans ritual that she had in mind?
Should you take a photo that you needed?
Yeah, I think that counts. I'm going to consider that's a right answer. Yes, she got a picture that should belong. Like they took pictures in a gala dinner where everybody was dressing fancy and stuff, and everybody was going to have the rights of getting those pictures to take home to show her families. And yeah, she went there and bought my picture and kind of blackmailed me into going there and getting the picture back. Yeah, maybe I'll tell that story on stream again some of these days. So what's the official count there, guys? Can anybody like type it in chat? I was keeping track more in my head. I think Molly won like five. I want to say five, but maybe it was six. Bad memory.
Oh, we're tied.
Oh, there's a tie, Cervantes and Molly. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to come up with another question. Is that accurate? What happened? I think, did I run out all the questions here? I thought I had like 12 of them. Let me think of something pretty quick.
Was it that was 12 questions?
There was 12.
Yeah.
Okay, I cannot make that easy. That's like a tiebreaker now. It's got to be, of course, something that I've talked about on stream, but it cannot be like that easy. Just hand it. And how do I decide who's gonna answer first for this tiebreak? That's another thing. Maybe
Make
just
them
respect
guess
the
a
other.
number.
Guess a number again.
Mm.
All
Think
right,
of a
Tom
number,
Tom.
and they have to tell you a number.
Oh, it's like the closest number that the one that gets the closest. Is that what you're saying, Luna?
Yeah.
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 Okay. Okay. So a number between. I'm typing to you, Tom Tom, again. The number. Let's see who's gonna get like the closest one. Between 1 and 20. Say a number, Cervantes and Molly.
14.
Between 1 and 20. Wait, say it again, Cervantes. Sorry.
I said 14.
14. About you, Miss Claire.
4.
4. Yeah. Type the number in the chat, Tom Tom, so they don't say it's rigged. Rigged. 13. So yeah, Cervantes. Cervantes is gonna answer first. Okay. Something that I said on stream. It's kind of like let's just think of something right now. Cervantes, how many times have I modded to not to friends, not like to you or like to a like popular like female streamer? I have modded before. I haven't like I mod for my friends and stuff, but like I haven't modded to like a sort of a bigger channel in a while. But I did in the past. Uh,
And you're asking how many streamers you modded for in the past?
no, yeah, no more like let me yeah. It can be like you can give like two answers. Like how many times was I mod for like sort of a popular channel, or the name of the people or one people that I modded for the streamer, her name or her channel.
Once?
Do you know? Yeah. Yes, once.
I'm trying to
That is
remember her
correct.
name. Um,
Yes,
she
her
doesn't
name,
stream
her
anymore.
IRL name. No, she doesn't stream anymore. Yeah, her name, real name was Ali. That's where I
Yeah.
met like Bumpy and Dale from. And yes, her stream name was like Miss Alligator Girl. But yeah, GG's, congrats, buddy. I'm gonna drop the 5 subs in your channel pretty soon. But yeah, guys, it's time to go. Ended like holding them like more than I said that I would. Gonna give them the word like to say bye to do their final considerations. There was one final message that I want to like to send here that it doesn't it's not really related to our questions, to our final questions here and stuff, but I think it's an important message that I think I don't know it kind of ties a little bit in like I don't know how what kind of legacy would like to to leave, or how would like our friends or our viewers like to see us or to perceive us. It's a message more I don't know a concerning about I think 2024 has been a very enlightening year for me in a sense that like I realize that diversity and the things that are going on in our lives here on Twitch in our little communities is like way more broad than I thought. When we come and talk about some of the issues and some of the struggles that we are facing in our lives, it could be like concerning streaming, it could be concerning our relationships with our loved ones. I just found out that there's some people on Twitch going through like some chatter, some people that goes by in the communities that I hang in, uh, going through some really bad stuff, and I have realized that there are some people like actually dealing, and it's not just like going through bad stuff, but like dealing with like uh, medical conditions. Uh, we're talking about depression. We're talking about I even met like people when I was one of the mods there for a while, she was schizophrenic. It was the first time that I interacted with someone that openly said that she was schizophrenic and stuff. And autistic people, I have seen people with like Down syndrome. So like there's a lot of going on over here. and it's not our place as streamers to be like being nosy and to be like, no matter how like how big of our heart is, I think one of the magics, I think what the magical factor about Twitch and this kind of like platform live real time interaction is that like it puts almost everybody in sort of an equal condition. No matter what's going on in your life, going good or bad, no matter if you're pretty rich, once you arrive in a Twitch, you're just like a Twitch name, right? Like everybody's sort of in equal condition, no matter if you're introvert, extrovert. Like all you need to be accepted in a community on Twitch, no matter if you're older, if you're in your early 20s, you're 35, if you're 55, that all of that kind of gets like a note, or it doesn't matter when you get into a Fortnite game, into a Call of Duty game. It doesn't matter. Like my profession, what I do, if I'm going like to a sort of struggle, all of that kind of dies. Like we can, it's kind of free in a way. But what I want to say before I pass like the final word, like to for them, like to say goodbyes and say whatever they want to say here, for those of you guys that are going through like really really like serious stuff, some hardcore stuff that you guys probably should not even like be bringing up in chat and stuff, uh try to keep that in mind. Social media, no matter how cool, how awesome wholesome is the communities that you guys are in, the friends that you guys have made, like our comprehension and our knowledge about certain stuff is very limited. So even if I want to like help, sometimes I don't know how to. So like we not gonna have all the answers all the time that you need. What I'm trying to say is like if you actually need guidance, if you're seeking for wisdom and guidance, probably like platforms like TikTok, freaking Twitch, YouTube, like it's not the place that you want to be. We can help just into unto a certain extent here, can give some concept word. We can point the way. Maybe you are in the dark tunnel and we can point you have like tunnel vision and you cannot see the light in the end of the tunnel, but we can, and we can point you at the right direction. Oh, there's the light, and you're going to realize because of our words, because we are like playing the part of a friend. But go and actually talk to people IRL. You know what I mean? Seek for help IRL, because if you put all your hopes, dreams in the hands of like strangers on the internet, there's like a huge chance that you may get disappointed, or maybe that's gonna make the issue like even worse, right? So we are all here for you guys. Like, love to help. I think I can speak for Luna, for Cervantes, for Molly when it comes to this. We're never gonna like just turn on our backs on someone that's like needing help, but like we can only go so far, right? So keep that in mind. We are here for you guys, but like don't be afraid to seek out help like outside here, right? That's one message that I thought I really wanted like to leave. Uh, Probably I was going to tackle saying this in the middle of the previous conversations, but I just remembered that now, and I just felt important. So I'm going to pass the word to them. It's going to be like Cervantes, Molly, and Luna now to wrap it up. Just want to say thank you very much to all of you guys. Appreciate you guys like a lot, maybe more than you guys know. Thanks for participating in this. Everybody in chat, thanks for being here. I know it's very late for some of you guys. Everyone everybody modding, everybody engaging, being respectful. I did see some sus comments. I'm not gonna lie, I almost deleted one, but it's okay. We are on the internet. That comes with the territory. We have like a big community, like a streamer that has you know, a larger viewership number, and it's just part. There's always going to be like some, like Molly said, some bad apples, some great people coming and going. But overall, I feel like the communities that she built, that Cervantes built, that Luna is built, that we are building, that we continuously building, they are more on the wholesome side. And I feel like in the end of the day, that's what's gonna like prevail and determine if a community is good or not. Is that like, as to me, even with the bad apples, with the bad people, with like the weirdos, or the people that are gonna come in like to make us question ourselves or to offend us, If by the end of the day you are surrounded by more Cervantes, Lunas, and Mollys than those kind of people, uh, you're gonna be all right. You may not feel like it that day, but you're gonna be fine. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you so much. Me, as soon as we wrap it up here, I'm ending my stream. I'm gonna have dinner, and I don't know about them. If one of them is gonna continue like streaming for longer, if you guys are, I'm gonna come back and be hanging out in your guys' chat. Uh, I hope you guys in chat like have fun during the week. I'm gonna be talking to you guys. We're gonna get some feedback. At first, I said this to Luna Malls and Cervantes. This is not meant to. This was not created or thought as like okay, my intention is doing like a freaking podcast every week. No, I just wanted to try it out. I never done it. Uh, I wanted to do something different, and I thought like having some friends and talking to them, it just made it would make everything easier for everyone. Probably if it was people that I don't know that well, I was gonna be like 3 times more nervous, more nervous. You know what I mean? I think it just made easier to everyone. And depending on how you guys feeling and how much they enjoyed doing it, I'm totally open in the future, near future, far future, whenever it is, to do it again with them as hosts, bringing other people in. We can talk about it. My DMs are open, and thank you guys so much for participating. I enjoyed a lot, like hearing, learning more. There's a bunch of questions that I asked that I pretty much knew the answers for some of you guys because you know, uh, I've been close to you for a while, and but the main thing here that I wanted like for people like, to get from this was like getting to know us a little better as a person, as streamers, like understanding our thought process, why we do the way we do, why we allow certain things, why we don't allow certain things. Understand that we share a lot of the same struggles, sometimes without realizing. That's a very common thing on Twitch. I have seen sometimes in the same weeks 5 bigger channels, in different days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and they all were like saying the same thing, and they had no idea of the each other's existence, sharing like their frustration without my community's not growing, I'm not good enough, and like you guys have no idea. No matter if you're like a small streamer or a bigger streamer, uh, we are all finding our battles there, but a lot of them like exact the same. And sometimes all we need like to go through them or to overcome them is just like to find one another, realize that we're not the only one going through that, and sometimes like even work out and finding solutions together. So yeah, thank you so much. Have a great night. Happy Easter. It's Easter. No matter if you're like religious or not, I can still say like Happy Easter. Of course, it is more meaningful for those of you who are Christians and stuff. But yeah, even if you guys don't celebrate, hope you guys have a wonderful like Sunday with the family. Here in Brazil, it is a holiday also on Monday, so we got a long weekend. Um, and yeah, see you guys around. We're going back to our normal schedules next week. Thank you so much. I see your comments. I would like to mention you guys one by one. Peeps in Molly's chat. Thank you so much. I'm proud to be part of that community. I've been there since before I started streaming, so it means a lot to me. It's one of the few places where I still feel like I can go there and only feel like I'm a viewer with anything else like getting in the way. Thanks so much. Thanks for the support. Thanks for being nice to all of us. Keep going. Keep showing love to your favorite streamers. Keep spreading like positivity when you can. And yeah, if you guys ever want to talk to us, you guys know where and when to find us. So thank you so much, Cervantes, and then Molly and Luna. Your final words for a little like podcast here, and feel free to say goodbye to your viewers. Even mention like, some comments individually if you guys want to. Go ahead, Mr. Cervantes, or serve.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with all of us. This is a enjoyable stream, and for all of your support and hanging out in chat. Appreciate all of you.
Nice. Miss Claire, want to say something?
Yes, thanks for inviting me, and we had some good conversations. And yeah, I don't know. Ops.
Oh boy.
Nice ups.
W.
Thank you, Tutu. You make me cry in the final minutes of the podcast. Luna, you want to say something?
I was just gonna say, first of all, thank you, Ops, for starting the idea and organizing this. But also thank you to Cervantes and Molly for also participating. and everybody in chat who also listened and stayed tuned and also contributed as well. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Well said. Is there any of you guys gonna see you streaming? Keep streaming, or are you guys wrapping up like me? No, going.
I'm gonna
I'll
stay
probably
on.
still stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still gonna be streaming, Cervantes?
Hmm.
Okay, so two of them are still going on. It's still gonna be going on after dinner, or gonna be there. If you guys wanna like continue chit chatting with us, gonna be there. See you, Cervantes, soon. Luna, Molly. Yeah, take it easy, guys. See you guys on Monday over
Bye.
here. Have a good one. Great night. Bye. Adios, amigos. All right, let's go.
Looking good.
Looking good, boys and girls. We did it. Yeah, we knew that we're gonna have like figured out some stuff here real time, but we kind of did our homework before, and I was aiming for okay, maybe in like 10, 15 minutes we can figure everything out, and we did. So, guess we're ready. Are we ready, Freddy? Can we start?